All right, we're recording. This is session, I don't know, I forgot to check, of for Dagger Core Investigations, LLC. Who would like to give a recap?
Seems like last time we got together, we spent almost the entire time trying to strategize for our heist.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't remember what else happened.
So I remember that Sharp, and I believe with Solana, you guys went to the church to scope it out, and you were told about the museum in the basement, and you paid the donation to be able to gain access to it. In the church, in the museum, there were two guards, one near the door on the inside and one on the opposite end of the museum. You guys found the display with the silver mask, and it seems to be the mask is on a mannequin in full armor, and it's like a display or a diorama or whatever of the warrior who was known for wearing the mask attacking a werewolf. So it's set up as a display of them being in mid-battle. There's
Can you hear me now? Better?
Yes.
Yeah, so other things that happened. It was just Sharp who went in to look at the case. And Dag went to buy rolls and wound up being toured around by the daughter of whoever runs the bakery.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Who
And that
turns out to be an abusive asshole.
Abusive asshole, yeah.
The daughter? Yep.
Yeah. Well, we don't know yet about the daughter, but the
Time will tell. That shit's generational. Oh, yes, episode 15. Thank you, Peter.
As near as Sharp could tell, the case is something you can't get into. Although, and actually, it wasn't attacking a werewolf; it was attacking a dwarpian, a
Yes, that's
half-dwarf,
right.
half-scorpion.
Yes.
Which I wouldn't have remembered except for the dwarpian element.
Yeah, and then Dag, you discovered some things in the church too, didn't you? Went around looking.
well, the found where the acolytes' room is, or wherever the clerics stay. We're familiar with the hatch in the ceiling.
There's a place where all the sick people are located.
Infirmary, yeah. We're familiar. We know that the lock on the door to the museum is some badass, horribly difficult. We never would be able to pick lock.
Magical.
Or at least it's unlikely because it changes while you're trying to pick it. And it could possibly be like alarmed and...
It's no bueno. It's not something we can really mess with.
Am I forgetting anything?
And that we should come up with a plan that is not specific. And I still find that baffling. I have...
How do we do, Mike?
You guys can... I said it poorly. You guys can come up with whatever you want, but just know that, you know, things may change. And so if you don't buy into the plan working out exactly as you expect.
But I thought through our emails, we did a pretty good job of giving both generalities and specifics.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's a park across the street from this Church of the Silver Flame. On one side is the House Fidelis. On the other side is the City Watch Center. That's where I met Officer Pete Delaware. We had a good time and hung out. and went down into the cells, and they have a wand of shaped water. And I have the name Martin Periwinkle written down, but I have no idea what references that is to.
Martin Periwinkle.
And it floods a lot down here due to the vents. The sewer lines run through and they're vertical. And there's a walkway that goes from across and like over the Church of the Silver Flame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because once again, with this being Sharn, you kind of have to think in 3D with how everything is set up. The church doesn't have anything over it, but at least not within the tower. That the church is kind of it's the top of that particular tower, but there are towers higher than that, and there are walkways to kind of cross over it and everything. And the building below the church, or not the building, but the occupation in the tower immediately below the church is a kind of warehouse.
That's right.
So, last session we ended with you guys going to the Wizard for Hire shop with, what was his name? Looking it up. Chikor Irkronix. And I sent you guys a number of the wares that he has around his shop.
Yeah, and I assume we went in to sort of see what was in his shop, and then that we wouldn't actually discuss what we were buying while there, since we'll have to discuss how to use it. So we're really just there browsing, which shopkeepers love. They love, especially with high, expensive items. You just come in to look at them and then leave.
We're just here to look. It's fine. Don't mind us. What time do you close, by the way?
So I would assume we would go back to the Sparkling Alchemist to discuss what exactly it is we want to do. And I think, at least from Sharp's perspective, the best idea so far is that we figure out some way to smuggle Dag in and out. And we buy the Scroll of Major Image to create some sort of image of a monster. And I think we could all do a pretty convincing version of a zombie beholder, since we've seen one recently. Have it like bang into things in there. We could throw down some smoke sticks at that point to cover things up. Dag can smash a few glass cases. And then I assume the plan would be we like swap out the mask for a fake. But I know some people are opposed to that.
I think swapping out the mask for a fake is our best guess, because once we leave the place, everyone's going to know that a bunch of shit went everywhere. And they're going to be picking it up and what have you.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the possibility just that people might get suspicious that a zombie beholder appeared in the room and then vanished.
Yeah.
That's completely normal, you know? I mean, let's be honest here.
And a zombie beholder that appears just not any place, but a Church of the Silver Flame.
Yeah. Well, I assume, yeah, I mean, I at least would have it sort of like, part of the illusion would be it like magically phases through the wall from the House Vidalis side of the room.
Or we could also go ahead and put the disguise kit on, use the disguise kit and disguise Joe Farr as a different person than he is. And then we get in a fist fight with him, and then he acts like he summons the zombie beholder.
In fact, although we're on bad terms with him, and it's probably been, how long has it been since we actually fought the zombie beholder?
Not that long.
Less than a week.
Yeah.
Maybe a week, because we did fast time some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nonetheless, that's probably more than enough time. And it would be, I'm creating new problems by suggesting, let's go get the corpse of the zombie beholder and then we'll plant it so that it will look like there was a real zombie beholder there.
Now we got to
But
sneak
that's-
into that goblin's house?
Yeah, and jack one of the eyes.
That's right. It's a pre-heist heist.
We heard you like heist, so we added heist to your heist so you can have a heist while you heist.
Oh boy.
Now, one way to get Dag in pretty easily is just to go ahead and use the disguise kit and make him look like our son and walk him in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that. I don't know that it would. I don't want to. Sharp would not want to walk in there with a 17-year-old pretending to be his wife.
I like the idea of being an exterminator. The rat exterminators. Just go.
I mean, that's not a bad way to get in.
Plus, I don't know that you need to smuggle me. I'll just be in.
Yeah, I mean, just walk in.
And I might have a disguise on so I don't look like me. I'm thinking my rat exterminator costume, maybe with a fake mustache. They'll never recognize me. I could get this. We all remember this, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
What can possibly go wrong?
Oh, it's Liam Neeson. What happened to Dag? Oh, there he is.
You see how good it is?
I agree that it makes sense to go in disguises, try to throw them off so that they don't know who was even down there.
Yeah.
Certainly somewhere in Sharn, and those of us that make Sharn our home, rat catchers are a thing, right? There's certainly going to be vermin, and people don't like vermin. And so I would think there'd be organizations. I was thinking the Stone Guard Pest Control. Stone Guard, I believe, is just the neighborhood underneath of where we are. And the warehouse below us has had a rat infestation. And when the church learned about it, they hired us to come in and make sure they were clear. I would fake some documentation. I would fake the disguise kit, all checks we could do, right? And I go down, do a little research, maybe just even steal a uniform. No, borrow. Dag is not a thief. He borrows a uniform. Certainly they have one to spare.
Freudian slip from Dag.
Yeah.
This is a whole lot of work for you just to have an excuse to wear one piece here.
I like the onesie. It's nice and official looking. Don't I look handsome?
Fabulous.
Yeah, we are quickly getting to the point where Dag does everything.
Are we needed
The
for this?
distraction would help, though.
So there is the problem of we'll have to pay. It's a fair bit of money to buy the scroll. And presumably, like we discussed last time, because I can't cast spells at the moment, there would be a check involved for me casting it.
Or would Joe Farr, is a ranger, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Don't they have the ability to cast spells?
Technically, yes.
I don't know that they can cast Major Image, though.
Yeah, Major Image is not on the Ranger spell list.
Okay, I see. That's the problem. Yep.
So I looked to Sharp. Okay, Sharp, just tell me what you want me to do, and I'll go do it.
Well, we need you to put together your rat catcher costume and whatever paperwork you'll need to get in.
Okay.
And it might help. It might help to, release a rat or two.
I can do one a day.
Still, releasing one a day is probably enough. Because Solana and I want to create a fake mask for you to swap in. So we've got to go find a craftsman to make a fake mask. But first, I'm going to have to take Solana in so she can see the mask.
Yeah.
Because she's got a better memory than me.
Hey,
Hello,
Joe.
Bert.
Joe, maybe you could come with me down to Stone Guard to their pest control center, and maybe you could be like an inspector and say you need to inspect their containment facility and cause a distraction while I go in and sneak and steal a uniform and maybe some gear. Borrow a uniform and some gear. Think you could do that?
Sharp good with this. I don't want to get him
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah, whatever needs to be done, however you can help is fine.
And if you could happen to get any paperwork, any official documents from them, have them give that to you. That would just help.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right. So whenever you're ready, Mike, we'll go down and do that.
Okay, so you guys want to go down to the warehouse right now?
The Stone Guard district, which I think is just the district below us, and where that warehouse is, that neighborhood, whatever, and look for. I'm gonna guess there's a rat catcher facility there somewhere, wherever that is, right? And we're gonna try to do this pre-heist and go borrow some equipment from them. Borrow.
Okay, so let's see.
Consider it that's the new pre-heist heist. Stealing rat catcher equipment.
One does not simply heist during a heist.
So have we gone to the magic shop already? Have we visited it?
Yes.
We browsed.
We didn't buy anything?
No, we didn't know what we were buying until we discussed what we were buying.
Okay.
Just buy anything there? God, have you seen the prices? It's a
I wouldn't have been there anyway.
small business. We can't go around supporting them. Let's go to Walmart and buy the stuff we need there. It's cheaper.
All right, so Dag, you and Jofar are going down to Stone Guard to try and find a rat catcher organization.
Right.
It takes a little bit of time just walking around. Unless are you guys also asking people on the street like where you might find this, or is there anyone like?
So I could plug into my network, my background, right? Now my background isn't criminal network. My background is street urchin. So I could plug into that network perhaps just to learn where it might be.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about Dag. What would Dad be looking for to know he's found his network here in Stone Guard, or somebody that he can trust?
So he would. What is my background street urchin? I think it is. So I say my background street urchin. So I'd be looking for perhaps the kids that are other halflings that are working the streets. I would have an eye for any type of pickpocketing activity, organized, or especially with the younger age kids, the teenagers. I would be very familiar with that.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Perception +4. 16.
So yeah, you don't find anybody actually actively pickpocketing or anything like that. The crowds right now in Stone Guard, they're too small for that kind of thing. But you do come across an alley where you see a couple of people kind of huddling and seem like they're not necessarily exchanging things, but they're putting a bunch of things down in the center and kind of counting them out and stuff like that.
So I go up to him and say, Hands. Excuse me, guys.
The minute that they notice you, they quickly pick up the belongings, and they're like, "Who are you?"
Don't worries. A simple question for you, and I wonder if you might be able to tell me just a bit of information about this town, and I'll use my sleight of hand, and I'll produce a sovereign in each hand and hand it toward them. I'm just looking. Is there a rat catcher of Stoneguard? And I just hand. Whether they answer me or not, I just gave them each 1 silver.
So they each kind of take it and like kind of put it aside, and they're like, what do you need a rat catcher for?
Well, really, my purposes aren't of any of your concern. And here's another silver for each of them.
Okay. Well, give me a persuasion check with advantage.
All right. 19.
Okay. So the larger of the 2 youths, they says, yeah, there used to be a rat catcher here in Stoneguard, but ever since House Vidalis moved in, they kind of stepped on their toes and pushed them out a little bit.
Oh, where'd they go? Just gone? Or?
Yeah, House Vidalis, they got those really fancy mage bread things. They eat up all the rats pretty good. And then they got their own sort of proprietary, I don't know, some thingamajig catches rats real good when you trap, like a trap.
House Vidalis, huh? So they didn't use it anymore, but House Vidalis is doing it. What do you think, Joe? Should we go check them out? Do I know something? Do I know background about House Vidalis that I should be aware of?
So House Vidalis is the Dragonmark House of Handling. They're all about handling, raising, training animals. They have these breeding programs. They don't know how, people don't know how they do it. Something through the magic of their Dragonmark, as well as lots of research. They have what's called mage-bred animals. So those are typically hardier, stronger, smarter, faster than your average animal. But they also, they have a lot, basically anything that you can think animal related, House Vidalis excels in.
Okay. I don't know how familiar Dag is with them. If they have markings, a uniform.
They have a marking. They're I'll bring up the symbol of their house.
First of all, thank these guys. I appreciate your information, and Joe and I walk off.
Okay.
Well, where would we find this house before we leave? Can you point us the direction of this house?
Yeah, it's up there, right by the church.
Ah, fantastic! Thank you, guys. And now we move on.
Okay. Open a new link. So this is the symbol of House Vidalis.
When I think of taking someone with me to go ahead and question other people, I think about bringing along with me Joe Farr, standing big and intimidating.
With his massive axe.
Ooh,
Or
yeah.
wait, does Joe Farr still carry his axe?
Yeah, it's on his back with the dread helm.
Yep.
He hasn't sold it yet. Hasn't found the right person to buy it.
So it looks like a griffin, the word, a couple of spears, some trees with vines around it. That's what I'm looking at, right?
Yeah.
The coat of arms for the House of Vidalis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and show that to Zilhana, and you can have one wherever you want it.
Okay. So Joe, I think we should go up to the house and just look at the people that are coming and going, and I don't know. Do you think we should talk to them?
Sounds like loitering.
Yeah, for a little while. So,
I guess we can do it. Sharp said it's okay. Whatever's for the job, right?
right. So we make our way up to the house, and we're just looking at, just hanging out. I don't know what's around the house. If it's near the church, we could be sitting in front of the church. That's loitering for sure, but there should be occasionally people that loiter in front of the church.
Well, I mean, along the streets, especially in this neighborhood, it's not uncommon to see a bench along the edge of the normal walkways and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, and especially because this area of Sharn has more exposure to the weather. So actually, that is going to play a factor. I figure, so this is probably the next day, because it was pretty late when you guys went to see the mage, right? Or the shop. So this is then the 26th of Zarentar. And so let's see what the weather is like.
The 26th of Zarental.
It's still like winter, isn't it?
It's January equivalent. But so it's actually fairly comfortable, probably a bit on the chilly side, but still, it's a nice light breeze, a few clouds. Every once in a while, it might kind of mist a little bit, not really rain, but kind of like a light mist. So it's not a terrible day to be out and about and kind of be people watching on some of those benches.
So we just watch the people coming in and out of the house for maybe an hour.
Okay. So Jofar, give me an insight check.
How insightful am I? 10.
10?
Yep.
Okay. So, so yeah, I mean, you guys see people coming and going, obviously. Jofar, based on the people that are like going in and going out, it seems like there are really mostly customers. Some seem to be leaving with animals, very, very nice dogs or like a pet bird or something like that. Others are bringing their pets in, and they seem to be maybe injured or mangy or something. So that's kind of mostly what you observe watching House Vidalis.
So, is there a common way they dress? Any badges? Any markings?
Not from the people that you see coming and going.
Joe, do you think we should go in there? Maybe we could ask them. We could say that we have a rat problem, and we're from Precarious, and we need someone to do a rat, and we're just wondering how much it would cost. Doesn't mean we have to do it. And
Sounds
we could
good.
just see. All right, so we'll go in, but let these two have their turn if they want it.
All right. So yeah, we'll take a slight break from you guys. Solana and Sharp, what are you guys doing in the meantime?
What time of day is it when they leave to go looking for rat catchers?
I imagine it's probably sometime between 10 and noon.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking.
So we're just about to wake up, and then
So yeah, I mean, I guess the first thing I would suggest we do is go to the church, so we could go down into the museum together, and you could see the mask.
okay, should we go as ourselves or as people looking like other people?
I mean, I've been there once before already, so it makes sense. This time we'll go as ourselves.
Okay. I
So
just
we
don't
make
want
our
my
way back to
kids-
the church.
Okay. So it's at this time it's probably right around the end of the first mass of the day. So which is a good time. So it's the same procedure. You guys pay the donation.
What was the
And
donation?
And Gallify, I think.
I mean, it sounds familiar.
I think, yeah. And then you're able to go down into the museum. There's actually a couple of other people there this time looking over some of the relics and everything.
So
I'm
yeah,
gonna
we
look
wouldn't
over
obviously.
everything.
Yeah, obviously we don't go like beeline it for what we're looking for. Try to just draw a sort of logical path around the museum the way people would normally go,
Mm-hmm.
even if it takes us like 20 minutes or half an hour to make our way over to that one case.
While I'm looking at everything and reading all of the writing, all the information about this stuff, is there anything that catches my eye or piques my interest?
Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Yeah.
Also, when I get to the case this time, I would specifically look to see how they got its stuff in there. Since I realized last time that I had no idea.
I get a +4 on that as well. I forgot. Ooh. That's a 22 then. My +4.
Okay. So you're looking over.
I did not roll well on whatever it was I was looking for. Even best case scenario, I got an 11.
So it's not really clear to you. It just appears like a single cube of glass placed on a raised sort of stage or pedestal type thing. Solana, I mean, there are a couple of interesting relics of the past. They have some pelts of former lycanthropes and some of the chitin from some lycanthropes that they killed during the purge, and you also see a number of relics or weapons or things from heroes during the last war. You have there's a whole section on the capture of Thaliost. But what catches your eye even more than all of that is not even related to the relics or the things that are written. It's more looking at the guards. The guards seem incredibly bored. They're yawning. They don't look like they're really paying much attention to anybody.
Very interesting.
If this were an episode of Seinfeld, maybe giving them a chair would be sufficient.
Yep. What are the gods? Humans, elves, Canadians?
Both of these currently are human.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Okay. Keep exploring everything here then. And I have memorized everything in the room for the next month. This is all getting written down because something might come up in a case in the future, and I can be like a TV show cop who's like, oh yes, I remember 15 years ago I worked on this case, and that's how I know everything.
You know what? There's one other thing that you
Uh-oh.
noticed, actually.
I'm sure by the time we come back tomorrow, they'll have rearranged everything for some reason because this is an episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah, really. Ah, a picture of a zombie beholder. I knew it. And yes, for everyone wondering, I am playing a monk. Would I be able to copy that down with my paints after seeing it?
I mean, with your memory, you would be able to easily copy it down later.
Yeah, that's what I
Describe
mean.
it. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. Bad news bears. Okay. Well, I guess we'll continue around looking at everything until we're done with the standard tour. Unless Sharp
Okay.
wants to find anything of importance or do anything.
Trying to figure out how the case opened. I failed. It does not open. They lowered it in place around the display, as near as I could tell.
Makes sense to me.
So, so yeah, it probably would be about a good half an hour, 45 minutes to give everything in here a good examination and also to do some, you know, kind of light conversation with each other, oohing and eyeing over everything. And then once you guys are finished, is there anything else that you're doing here?
No, not in the church, I don't think. Not right now.
I'll be looking as we leave the church at doorways and everything, but more or less just leaving at this point. Finding the quickest way to leave the building once chaos starts.
So the quickest way is to just go straight up the stairs. The front door is not too far away.
Mhm.
Once you get up the stairs.
How many guards between us and the stairs? And then between us and the front door from the stairs?
None.
Okay. Does the door have any locks on it?
The front door?
Yep.
I mean, it's a big cathedral door, so they do lock it every night. The lock doesn't seem nearly half as complicated or impressive as the lock to the door of the museum.
Now that is interesting. And I'll have to let Dag know that, because he'd know the significance of it. That's actually very, very interesting. Okay then. I think I'm good.
So I think we should probably try to find a craftsman in Precarious or somewhere else far away from this neighborhood.
I agree,
to
but let's.
recreate the mask.
I agree, but let's sit down for a moment so I can paint this back at our place. And I'm gonna paint the mask and the glyph so we can give it to him, and it can be perfect.
Okay. So your recollection is perfect, but getting it down might not be as perfect. So give me a forgery check using intelligence.
Forgery check using intelligence. Okay. Intelligence we roll.
Because you are proficient in forgery, right?
I'm proficient in painter's supplies, not
Okay.
forgery.
We'll do that one. That's fine.
Okay. Okay, dice. Not bad. With that is a total of 18.
Okay.
15.
Yeah, looking it over, you're pretty satisfied with your handiwork. There are a couple of small errors maybe, but based on your recollection of everything, it's good enough.
And the silversmith should be able to tell from what I said we give him.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine that you would do it to scale, at least for the mask.
Yeah.
Because since you didn't have the ability to kind of get measurements of the mask.
Yes. Yep.
So with an 18, it's close enough.
Okay. And the glyph?
Yeah, you were able to recreate the glyph.
Okay, I'll keep that on a separate page and bring that with me. Yeah, I think that's everything I needed to do.
Okay. Sharp, what are you doing while Solana is painting these things?
At this point, I'm just waiting. I mean, I guess I would ask her, are we pretty much set on buying the scroll of major image? Because I could go do that now.
Before you go, could you ask him about this? And I'll hand him the painting of the glyph real fast. This is on all of their cabinets and everything. Do you recognize it?
I don't know. I'm trained in Arcana.
Yeah, you can do an Arcana check to see.
+4, that's a 21.
Okay. So there is it's primarily related to abjuration, and specifically it seems to be call or a beacon or alarm of some sort.
I assume there'd be something like that.
Well, if that's the case, we should probably break quite a few cases then.
And we may want to, just to be clear about it, break some other case adjacent to this one first.
Yeah.
So we don't start with this one.
So the one thing, the other thing, because Sharp, you rolled fairly high with your check, based on the shape of the glyph and the general kind of style of it, this particular glyph, there's usually some second glyph somewhere in relation to the first, within close proximity. And the magic seems to be typically triggered if either glyph is moved, and it kind of like detects that movement. So you would guess either lifting the case or certainly breaking the case, or even depending on the sensitivity of the magic linked into the glyph, a strong vibration may even set it off.
It could be linked to a sleep spell or a paralyzation spell of some kind.
Could be, but it's definitely related to a sort of alarm. So somebody's going to get notified if we mess with the case too much. Now, I'm curious as to, I don't know, if merely cutting the glass would trigger this, because it wouldn't move the runes relative to one another and it might not shake them enough. But I don't know that we're going to have time to just be able to let Dag cut his way through the glass, assuming we can find glass cutting tools. I think it's still probably better to shatter some things nearby, shatter this case, replace the mask with a fake, and then figure out a way to smuggle Dag out again.
We also have the problem if we try to cut it, it will be kind of obvious which one we cut.
Right. Although I was actually skeptical about that, about there being any use for the mini portable hole. But the mini portable hole would make it pretty easy to hide.
Mask.
To hide the mask if we get caught. That said, 4,000 gold pieces. Maybe we just agree we're going to go to jail rather than spend that much money.
Well, technically the mini... Oh, Silhana wouldn't actually know that, but out of character, I'm pretty sure someone would go ahead and know that a mini portable hole is technically a parallel dimension, and thus you can't scry on items in a mini portable hole. So they wouldn't be able to find it.
Well, I don't know if you guys picked it up based on the description, but this miniature portable hole also functions a bit differently than a normal one, because with a regular portable hole, when you set it up, it's just a hole that you can put things in and out of. This one, as long as the material is thin enough, it actually creates a passageway between the side that you place it on and the other side.
Oh, I did not pick that up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's see, yeah, I mean...
So a bit more, it's a bit more like the portable holes from Roger Rabbit.
Yep.
So I don't assume the glass was 2 inches thick.
It's not.
Because that would be super convenient. That might make it worth the 4,000 gold.
Well, the glass might not be, but the thing it's sitting on is through the wood. If we enter through the floor, put the miniature portable hole below it, we can go up, grab the mask, put a new one in, back down.
I mean, that might be a way in. Portable hole in the ceiling of the warehouse below. Dag can probably squeeze through it, although I think it's only 6 inches in diameter.
Yeah.
So
I
that
think
might be a
6
tight
inch.
squeeze. Yeah, it might be a tough squeeze even for Dag.
Okay,
Yeah,
Dag.
6 inches, 6 inches in
Exhale.
diameter.
We're going to have Dag exhale, and we'll squeeze him through. So cover him in oil.
Bring me a tape measure to wrap around Dag's head. Make sure his skull is...
I said I didn't inhale. I didn't say I didn't exhale.
Oh, he can exhale. That's fine. There we go. See? It's perfect. Yes. We also have the mystery key with a 5% chance to unlock any lock, and what's us never get that chance, except on like except on the bathroom stall.
Yeah, that one's hard to rely on in the middle of a heist.
Yeah. Well, if we get the miniature portable hole and we cover Dag in the oil of slipperiness, we can get him through.
Well, remember the miniature portable hole. If the surface is too thick, it'll act as a normal portable hole. If the surface is thin enough, which the floor or ceiling is not.
We should probably put a pin in that one and not try to form a new plan
Yeah.
based around buying the portable hole. Given that I don't even know if we have 4,000 gold left. I don't have a quarter of that on me.
I don't think we have $4,000 unless Dag does some friendly borrowing of a bunch of people's wallets.
Yes. So the new side quest will be we go to take out a loan.
So instead of being bankers and instead of being detectives, we talk about investment banking and personal finances.
This game is becoming more and more like Acquisitions Incorporated.
Purpose for taking out a loan? Heist.
Now it's D&D again.
All right, so we're going to take a break from Sharp and Silhana and get back to Dag and Jofar. You're muted, Dag.
So let's go up inside and just check it out and see what it's like. So the building, this house of Vidalis. What's the building look like? Is it an office building? Is it a castle?
So it's one part of a larger tower. So there are floors going above it. Mm-hmm. But this one, I mean, House Vidalis is fairly wealthy, as most dragon-marked houses are. And so they've actually done a lot of work on the facade to make this place look like more of a wooden cabin. And then there are also lots of plants growing around the property, as well as feeders for the various animals that might be found in Sharn. So it has a very warm, rustic feel to it.
Well, this is nice. And we walk up to the door. Is there a gate? Is it just general entry?
This section, it just seemed like people were kind of coming and going.
All right, let's go on in, Joe. And we go in and we start looking for a receptionist, a directory, something.
So the room that you walk into is kind of a rather larger waiting room. And there seems to be a person at a desk on the other side. And once again, they've gone to great lengths to make, despite the fact that this is likely a stone building, they've gone to great lengths to make the floors and the walls and everything look like they're all made out of wood. Really nice, probably dark wood. There's the man at the desk is kind of he's wearing, his clothes are fairly nice, though they're also much more informal than you would expect in a typical dragon-marked house. He's got this kind of a graying beard with his hair a little unkempt, but in a stylish way. And he looks at you with kind of a twinkle in his eye, and he says, "Well, howdy there. What can I help you with?"
Hey, Joe, lift me up.
There's not a partition or anything.
Oh, okay. Well, sir, hi, and I'll just give him my name. My name's Dag, and this is my buddy Joe, and we've come from Precarious.
Well, howdy there, Joe. Howdy there, Dag.
What's your name?
Everett. Everett de Vidalis.
Everett. Well, sorry to bother you. I hope this will just take a second. Our office building in Precarious has a bit of a infestation. We've been seeing rats, and we were told that House Vidalis might be able to help us out and help us figure out how to get rid of those rats.
Well, sure there. there's a couple of options that we can explore. Are you looking for an animal that would be able to predate on these pests, or are you looking for a more short-term solution with traps and such?
Traps and such might be fine, and maybe if you could help us figure out how to install them. Yeah, that I think a trap. I don't. What do you think, Joe? Do we need to get an animal, or is a trap good enough?
I don't know. I'm trying to get rid of these rats. Would be a good idea. Anything.
He's got a
Well,
little stuff.
well, sir, it sounds like you've had some rather harrowing experiences with vermin.
That's right, the vermin. Yep, little short vermin.
Well,
Yes.
House Vidalis is well equipped to meet your needs, so
So yeah, if you could help point us to where we can get some of these traps, maybe, or and maybe we can explore both options. You know, what kind of critter are you talking about, and what's that cost, and then we could look at your traps, and do we have to buy the traps, or do we just rent them? And then what do we do with the rat after we get? If we were to trap it, what were we going to do with that rat?
well now
Or does it kill the rat?
That's a rather good question. There are some that are morally obliged to allow the creature to live and just kind of relocate it. So we do have traps that are for our more morally conscious customers, but we certainly are not afeared of dealing with the rat situation in a more permanent solution. It really just depends on your moral fortitude and which direction you
Got anything with fire? Fire will work.
Oh no, sir, no fire. No, our
Acid.
traps are no. Our traps, if it is a killing that you want for these vermin, it is done in a quick and humane way. We don't use chemicals and magic and such.
Yeah, Joe, that'll be fine. That'd be fine. So how do we just buy the trap and then set it up ourselves, or do you have someone come out and set it up for us?
Well,
does
well,
location
well,
matter?
certainly, we're happy to come out to your domicile and look at exactly assess how much of a rat problem you may have. That's certainly an option there. Otherwise, we can just provide you here with a couple of traps, whether you want the more humane or the more permanent. Otherwise, if you're looking for a beast, of course, we have a couple of options there.
And would it be you that would come out, or is there can you point us to the department, or
no, sir. House Vidalis, we're really more so than the other Dragonmark houses, a family establishment. Each and every one of us is actually kin. So we're a very close-knit community here with House Vidalis. So it would in fact be me that will go out to your home and make the assessment if and so that was what you was wishing.
I see. So I'm going to take a particular note of his attire, how he's dressed, but can you show us some of these traps?
Well, sure. And he walks over to the wall where there's a couple of different versions of contraptions. And he says, so each of these traps here, they're fixed with a special beacon of sorts. They attract different types of vermin. They can be set for different kinds. Certainly there's rats, but also we have traps for other kinds of pests, cockroaches, crawlers, whatever you may be needing to eradicate from your property. So, but they work in one of two ways. The first of which is they lure them in, and then the door closes. It completely encases the vermin, and you can then relocate it as you desire, and then reset it for more. These other ones, more permanent, course, once they trap the rat, they quickly dehead it, and then you're free to dispose of the body as you wish.
How much would one of those run?
Well, because our traps are quite effective, and because they're proprietary instruments with very specific signals to draw in whatever kind of vermin it is you're hoping to eradicate, they're a little bit more expensive than you might find elsewhere. So they run a Galifar a piece.
Ooh, a Galifar piece. Well, what if we only need it for like, we take it, we catch our rat, we don't need it anymore. Can we bring it back? Or is it once it's used once, it's done and it's no longer good? How's that?
Well, no, sir. We pride ourselves on making quality products. That there will last you several lifetimes. You can pass that down to your children and their children, and they'll be able to keep on catching whatever prey or vermin that you need a catching.
What do you think, Joe? Should we just buy one, and then try to sell it later, or?
One. How many can you carry?
Can I carry as a halfling? 2, maybe. I imagine it's got to be the size of a cage that would handle what above the table might be a cat, right? The rats can be.
I mean, there are several different models of different sizes. He did mention that each one seems to be able to attune to a specific kind of critter.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, if you attune the smaller one to something the size of a cat or a dog, it'll attract it to the area, but it may not actually be able to do its job.
I think 2 would do, don't you? Just get 2.
Sounds good. We'll take 2.
Yeah, we'll take 2. We're going to try this. Can you show us how? We'll have him demonstrate how to set it and work it, and we'll take 2.
Well, now, absolutely, sure. That he shows you how to attune it, and it's a really simple diagram with pictures on the trap that indicates which kind of critter it's going to attract. The only choice you have to make is, are you choosing the humane or the killing?
Killing.
Well, you could show us both, right?
Nope, don't need that. Just need the killing.
I want to know both.
So he
Fair
shows
enough.
he shows you both. They're for the rat size ones. They're both. There's no price difference between either one. So, but
yeah,
you do notice that each trap has the insignia of House Fidalis on each one.
Fantastic. This is perfect. Hey, can we get some sort of receipt for my boss, just so he knows how much we really spent? We're going to go and say we spent 1 gold on each of these. And you can say, oh, I bet you only spent a silver, a sovereign. So could we get a receipt?
Well, sure. I have no problem providing proof of purchase. And he writes out a receipt for you and stamps it with the House of Vidalis signature, or the symbol.
Fantastic. Everett, you've been such a great help. I really appreciate it. And we'll let you know how good these work.
Well, sure. Now you come back here, and if you have any pet problems, we have a veterinary in back as well as breeding programs. So if you needed some kind of animal, for whether it was for companionship or for work purposes, we can certainly accommodate.
I don't suppose, the halfling, my ancestors, my parents came from, I don't remember the land, right, where the halflings come from.
Valenta Plains.
The Valenta Plains, and you don't have raptors here, do you?
Well, that's something we can certainly arrange. I'm not sure if we have any here on site, but certainly we can have them shipped in from other locations.
And I go, there's stories about how our people used to fight those bad guys on the backs of those raptors.
Well, sure. House Vidalis is very acquainted with the likes of the halfling customs and such, with the clawtooths and their other variations. So the soul wings and such. We certainly can accommodate you to seek out your roots and acquiring such a companion. We can certainly also make sure that that companion is specially bred to listen better than your average version. A little bit more domesticated for one such as yourself, although, you know, you can have it trained in a variety of ways. We don't really ask questions about the training of the creature. As long as you're willing to pay for the training, we'll make sure it happens.
Interesting. That's fascinating. Do you have any literature that I could maybe look at and maybe pricing for that type of service?
Well, for that kind of thing, it's a much more involved process. See, we try to vet each customer just to make sure that we're understanding their needs and for the specifications of what they seek. So it's not something where we just hand out prices. It is really each experience is made custom.
I'm gonna have to remember this, Joe. I'm a little pressed for time now, and don't need to take up all your day talking about raptors and such. But we may be back because that's really fascinating. Everett, I appreciate your time, Joe. I think we should be on your way. Don't you think?
Yep, time to go.
You have no more questions? All right, Everett. Have a nice day, and we'll make our way
Well,
out.
y'all come back now here.
I love his accent. Let's go. He was nice, Joe. These cages, this as we walk away, right? We're walking away. This will make us real official.
Sure will.
And we start to head back. Joe, do you think we should head back, right? We go back and show Sharp what we found? What we got?
Yep, I wouldn't want to be late, Mega Mandary, so we should probably get back.
You're so funny. Yeah, we're done. We head
All right.
back to
So you guys head back to the Sparkling Alchemist
Sparkling
with
Alchemist.
Sharp and Solana.
Was Dad just looking at going ahead and purchasing a velociraptor he can ride around the city on? like a casual car or something? Everyone else is riding a horse. Dad shows up riding a velociraptor.
Well, they used to tell stories of us, of my long-lost ancestors. That's what they used to ride, and it's kind of fascinating. Can you just imagine me on the back of one of those things, zipping around? Sounds like fun to me.
I think you have a future career in the arena if you start doing that.
Maybe the jousts and the maybe a race. You think I could be a jockey? That'd be fun.
So that it's
The
interesting.
one
that
jockey
you made,
on a velociraptor, everyone else on horses. You have a good chance there. just have your
I don't know.
velociraptor kill all the horses. You'll be fine. You'll win every time.
Winner by attrition.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, Conrad.
So interesting that you mentioned the racing, because Sharn is famous for its annual race of the 8 winds. Usually it's different competitors using animals, flying type animals, and it's like super huge. So think Super Bowl level of excitement.
Race of the 8 winds.
Mm-hmm.
And they race around the city.
And the entrants all race on different things.
Yeah, I mean, each district also is known to have its own particular type of. Let me just make sure. I think it's their creatures, not necessarily like sore sleds or anything. Yeah, so each racer, it's traditionally a race of 8 riders, each riding a flying beast representing a different quarter.
Would it be possible that we saw a poster at House of Adalis on this? Race of the 8 Winds?
Probably not at this time of the year because that race, it's about 6 months out still.
Okay.
What we're asking, is it possible to make the Velociraptor fly?
House Fidelis can do it.
Well, sure, that would be an incredibly expensive creation, though. What would be more likely is getting a soar wing, which is kind of like a pterosaur type creature.
Listen here, son. I didn't say if it was going to be incredibly expensive or not. I said, is it possible?
Well, when it comes to House Fidelis, they are eager to please.
Perfect. Okay, Dag, you're being entered in that race.
What? I'm not the animal handler. Don't we have a ranger to do that type of thing?
You want him doing it?
Sure.
Probably not the best idea.
I bet Joe can do anything he sets his mind to.
You guys forget, Joe is an urban ranger.
He's like an urban cowboy.
All right, so you guys are all back together. Dag has his traps. Solana has completed her painting. Sharp, did you go out and buy the scroll, the major image?
No, not just yet.
Okay.
And I'll go to Joe. I'm thinking that you need to be the rat catcher, Joe. They're all humans, and I don't think I'd pass as part of the House Fidelis.
Sure, whatever it takes, I can do it.
And you could still be some sort of assistant, or at least there in the background to release a rat.
You're his son in training.
I could disguise myself as a young human boy. I bet I could do that.
So there is the problem, before we go and buy the scroll, because that'll use up a large chunk of money. When we create a monster in the room, there will still be guards in the room. Now, I'm hoping we can convince the guards that defending the museum's not actually worth their lives, because these are just employees. And so we could tell them we'll hold it off and they can run. And then that will give us enough time to smash the glass and get the mask or replace the mask. But when we try to leave and we say, oh, good news, the monster that magically appeared magically disappeared, they're probably going to want to search us. At least, sure, at some point they'll go through and they'll find a mask and they probably won't look too closely. But at least in that initial minute, they're not going to want us wandering off before they've had a chance to search us. That might be a little problematic since some of us will be disguised. And those disguises might become a little more apparent on closer inspection.
True, however, if we run out screaming there's a monster while the scroll still remains activated in there, and then they see the monster coming out, they're not going to search people running for their lives.
That's true. We could try that. Although then we still have to get the guards out of the room before the glass gets broken.
Do we, though? I mean, smoke sticks can go ahead and blind the guards to what's actually going on. Anyway.
Sure, but then we need a monster that can throw smoke around, because it's not like a zombie beholder spontaneously catching fire.
We're assuming that the guards know what a zombie beholder is.
Right, but I mean, at some point they're going to figure out that this was more an illusion, if the illusion is incredible to their superiors.
Then what can produce smoke? A demonic entity, a very upset Elmer Fudd.
I mean, some sort of flaming devil makes sense to me.
A flaming were-rat. That explains why there's a rat catcher who's been called over.
I mean, I don't know what a flaming were-rat is.
So were-rat on
It
fire.
likes other male flaming rats.
I would just as soon go with generic devil over something that they've never heard of, even though they've been fighting them for centuries.
Out of character, do we know what a devil would actually look like?
I assume, like, we're not going to come up with, like, any particular devil. Like, this is
Lucifer
an
or
exact,
something.
right, this is an exact chain devil. But I assume we can come up with some sort of popular image of what a devil looks like.
Yeah. Can Silhana look on Wikipedia and see if she can find, what a devil would look like?
I mean, you guys have never seen a devil, but certainly you've heard stories.
There might
You know,
be
'cause-
Right, like something that looks like, something that looks vaguely monstrous and humanoid with horns and red skin and fire.
there might be a depiction of one in the church somewhere.
There might have been.
Also, we didn't really find any way to open those cases, but we did
What?
find magic glyphs. It appears to be a solid block of glass that was maybe lowered in place over the
So you
entire
can lift it up?
display. No, not without triggering an alarm and possibly glyphs of warding that will explode.
So you're saying they certainly won't explode if we break the glass.
They might explode if we break the glass.
Oh, so you're saying they'll trigger either way.
Yes, although it might just be an alarm.
So
What we're saying
Either-
is we're about to blow up the room.
yeah. Okay.
So yeah, we don't really know exactly what happens when we break the glass. But we either have to lift the entire block of glass up, and it's huge, so it's going to weigh a couple 100 pounds. And we'll have to lift it up high enough to get you in and then keep it up long enough for you to get out.
Tell me about this exhibit again. Can you describe it to me?
Sure, it's a knight in a silver mask with a sword who's attacking a dwarf that's transforming into a scorpion, or like a half dwarf, half scorpion.
And how tall is this knight?
I assume he was like 6
Is he
feet in
this
armor.
tall? And I reach up to your chin? Or is he taller than this?
He's taller than that.
Okay. And you want me to take the mask off this guy and put this other one on there?
Yes. Well, we will need you to smash a bunch of cases around him first, then smash the glass on this case.
Okay. Case is being smashed all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I go to this knight that is 2 feet above my outstretched hand, and I take the mask off and I replace it with this other mask but his face is 2 feet above my hand.
Now you can knock the statue over.
Okay, yeah, I can knock I can't knock the statue over, right?
I assume.
Can he?
I didn't see anything that was going to make it untoppable. I don't assume it's metal and bolted into the ground.
It's a cheap department store mannequin.
Okay.
I mean, worst case, you may have to climb. If it's like that fixed, you may have to climb up to remove the mask.
And will probably be obscured quite nicely by smoke and other things, so if necessary, you can get some assistance.
So,
right, but our plan is to buy you plenty of smoke sticks so that you'll be behind a veil of smoke.
am I going in by myself again?
No, we'll be in there with you. I'll have to cast to create the monstrous image, I'll have to be there for that.
Oh, you can cast
But-
again?
No, maybe. We're going to see.
I'm so confused. Can you cast or can you not cast?
I lost my access to most of my spells when I ceased to be a were-rat. So I still understand magic. So I assume that when I get my hands on the scroll, I will be able to release the magic from it.
Oh, the scroll. You can use the scroll to cast it. You're not going to do it
Yes.
without the scroll. And
Right.
you've already bought the scroll, right? Oh, I
No,
see.
not yet.
Oh.
I wanted to make sure we were all on board with the plan
Okay.
before we
Okay.
spent all that money.
Working backwards, I've switched the mask because all the glass, all the exhibits, smoke bombs everywhere. You're doing some major image. So are we going during the day?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna go during the day. We're gonna go during the day, and we just walk in, and we say, "Hey, we want to see. We're going to the museum. Here's our contribution," and we're all in there, and so why did I buy these rat catcher outfit, the rat traps?
Well, I thought that was going to be, we don't want to all go in one group because
Okay.
that would look suspicious. So I assumed you were going to go in as a rat catcher.
Okay.
And that would
Now,
be your way in.
The thing
To
is,
save
I learned
10 gold to you save that money going in. Because they're not going to charge the rat catcher to come in and catch rats.
So we're going to have to, the rat catchers are actually agents of House Vidalis. So we're going to have to dress up someone. I'm thinking maybe Sharp or Joe here, Far, and dress him up as a House Vidalis kind of guy. Oh, by the way, here's their mark. Here's their symbol. Or maybe you could give him a tattoo. I don't know, whatever. And so and then we can make this paperwork and we can use their official letterhead. We can see I got this receipt, and I'm thinking maybe we can modify this to make it look kind of like a work order, and go in and say, hey, we've been asked to come in here and take care of your rat problem. And we go in and we start to set up the traps. We bring in the traps with us, and then we can just go do it. And part of it is, hey, we were told to check everywhere. We have to go into the museum, so we're gonna have to go in there too. And we go in there, and that maybe that's when you start doing your smoky things, and we could even let a rat go in there. You know, and rat goes off, and everything goes to hell. And I go, and as Joe is chasing this rat around, I go and I do the whole masky switchy thing. And what if I throw the mask in with the rat inside the cage? They may not want to check in there. Especially if we do actually catch the rat, because I could, we could lose the rat. There'll be a rat.
So is the cage like a solid box?
I'm picturing something in my mind, right? That looks like a pet crate, with the door on one side or the other, and it has some magic lure that draws them in. But you tell me what it's really like. I don't know.
Yeah, it's similar. I mean, it's not completely. It's not a cage. It's more solid, but there is a cage on one end so that you can see what's been caught.
So is there like a floor on this rat trap?
Well,
And
it's a
how
live
thick is-
trap. It can be alive, despite what Joe tells you. It can be a live trap.
It would be better for it to be a live trap because they'd be less likely to search it. The question is whether or not we could actually hide it in such a way that if they just looked in the trap, they wouldn't be able to see it.
Well, what's that stuff that rats stand on? The kind of cut up sawdust-like stuff. If we cover the bottom of it with that on the inside of the trap.
Well, I'm picturing 5 solid size and maybe a grate on the front that they could probably peek in and see. But even some traps, they flap down and you can't really see in them at all.
This one you can.
To what extent, though, Mike?
It's got one side, like you said, 5
Yeah.
sides are basically opaque, and then there's one side that's open to viewing.
Yeah, we can make a false back on it.
What's it made out of?
Asbestos.
And would it be big enough to hold the mask?
So when I picture a rat, it's the size of a cat. And I picture this mask.
When I picture a rat, it's like yay big. Like
That's a
6
mouse.
inches.
Yeah,
Well, mice are even smaller.
no. That's a mouse. You must
Well-
not spend any time on a farm because a rat, absolutely the size of a, maybe not a huge.
In New York City, rats are not cat size. They're a quarter of cat size at if it's a big one.
When I picture a rat, I picture Joe Farr going into the nearest police station and giving us all away so he gets the reward money.
That could be where this campaign ends. Joe Farr, the hero, saves the Church of the Silver Flame. Celebrate
Hero
throughout the
by-
city.
Hero by killing 2 were-rats.
Saving the world from were rats. This is how it ends.
I mean, I will say, Dag, there were several size options, and you got to select which one.
Yeah.
So,
So I guess the question is, will the mask fit in the rat trap? We've seen both.
well, it might, just barely, because it's longer than it is wide. And
Sure.
it's for a specific reason. It's meant to kind of corral the
Right.
whatever the animal is in one direction. So if it did, it would just barely.
So
All right. Well, maybe this isn't a good idea then.
So if we could pick size, I would pick whatever the largest size I had.
Well, the largest side they had was like bear sized.
That's for catching
okay.
the were rats.
And
Because different people have different considerations about what's a pest.
that's correct. And I would check the blade to see if it's silvered. Because I'm assuming it's a little mini guillotine that comes down and cuts off their head.
Similar, yes.
Or a
So
hand. I mean, the hand could get in there too.
Well, it's meant to be proofed against being able to cut your own hand off by reaching in.
Not your own hand, just,
Some nosy
Someone else's
guard who
hand.
decides to look.
potentially someone who may be drawn to this beacon or this rat calling they can't seem to resist,
I'm sorry, sir. I have to search your rat.
I mean,
Hey,
one way or another, we are going to need probably you, Dag, to hide the mask if we get searched at all, because you're the one with the fast hands who might be able to hide this without, even if you get searched.
Assuming that
I
running
don't-
out and screaming doesn't work.
Right. If we can't just run out and scream that there's a monster downstairs.
do you guys mind if we take a 5-minute break?
Oh,
No,
that's good.
Oh, that's fine.
So, what are you guys doing now?
I don't know. Is it time to go? Is it go time?
It's time to go for more pre-planning stages because we still have to get the fake mask made. We still have to go buy the scroll and buy some more smoke sticks and a couple thunderstones just in case things go sideways.
And counterfeit my work order.
Right.
Yep. And buy clothing. And
Right. Get Joe a good henna tattoo of House Vidalis and
Now, what-
uniform.
what did
Whatever
Joe want
uniform is appropriate based on whatever you guys saw. I don't know if they had uniforms but something that looks officially sort of rat catchery, House Vidalis-y, if that's a thing.
Now, what does Joe want for the? Where would be a good place for the tattoo on most of these people? Would it be a henna? Would it be a on the shoulder, a full chest tattoo, a tramp stamp, an ankle, anything?
I mean, do people in the Dragon Mark houses get tattoos?
They have
I don't know.
marks, right?
Dragon marks are sort of different. They're like birthmarks.
Yeah.
So we could mock something up to look like the birthmark.
Yeah. Where would you like your birthmark, Joe?
Do you guys know what dragon marks would look like?
That's not the coat of arms. The dragon mark is like a weird arcane mishmash of symbols that look like something, like an animal or a dragon or something similar, but only in a very abstract sort of way.
I only know because I looked it up.
Well, I have my dragon mark, but that would look different than the other dragon mark.
Well, I mean, the house dragon marks are supposed to be somewhat uniform. Like you could tell, someone who's an expert in it at least could tell.
Yeah, so we
But
could
it's
go
not
to
the
a
same
library.
thing. Yeah, it's not the same thing as the coat of arms of your house.
We could go to some sort of library and look up the different types of marks.
Yeah, he doesn't have to have a dragon mark to be House Vidalis, though. A lot of
Doesn't?
members of the dragon mark is like sort of you're super special because you've got this arcane mark on you, but a lot of members of the house won't have that particular mark.
Yeah, in that case, I wouldn't worry about it too much.
So this is common knowledge?
I assume dragon marks, at least the basics, are common knowledge.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they're going to check the for a dragon mark if I'm coming
Yeah.
from House Vidalis to catch a rat. Like if I was due to do something a little more extensive, I could see maybe, but
Now, we know
Yeah.
there's a mole on your left butt cheek. We need to examine that.
That's right. Now, when I say you cough,
Turn your head.
we don't let any rat catcher in here without a full body search.
Need to find if you got any cocaine you're smuggling up in there. Turn your head and cough, buddy.
so I mean, I would just try to remember what that guy's attire looked like and try to get close to it. I don't need to look exactly like Everett looked.
We would work on that together to get your
Okay.
disguise, your outfit look as close as possible to Everett's.
Yeah, and I would just go by, sort of a different set of common clothes. I would like remove my hat and see like the permanent hat mark that's probably in my hair now because I so rarely take it off.
Now Everett did say that House Vidal. He said that they all are related or whatever. They're all
Family.
I mean, yeah, it's a
they're all family. Okay, no,
Yeah.
that's good.
That's why it doesn't work for a halfling.
Yeah, that's why you'd have to look.
Yeah, so I'll put my young human disguise on.
Okay.
I'm going to go buy the scroll and I don't know how many smokesticks and thunderstones does he have?
He has a good amount.
I would probably then buy like 10 smokesticks and 10 thunderstones.
Okay. Yeah, he can accommodate that.
So we'll work on the disguise and the counterfeit of our work order.
Okay. So
Do some disguise kit work.
Solana, are you making the disguises or putting them together for Jofar and Dagnabbit?
Yeah, sure, I can help him do that. I can work on
Okay.
that with them.
So give me. We'll do one disguise kit check for the both of them.
Dex, intelligence, wisdom, con, strength, charisma.
We'll use
And
intelligence.
we help describe it, the three of us together.
Well, that's what allows her to make the disguise in the first place.
Okay.
And you said make 2 of them, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. First one is a
Well,
7.
oh no, I said we'll do one for both of them.
Oh, okay. Then it's a 17.
Okay. All right. So Jofar and Dag looking at each other. You kind of get the sense that Solana did a pretty okay job.
Okay.
Gee, Joe, you look pretty okay.
That's what I'm going for.
I wasn't about to say you're okay, you're pretty.
So, Sharp, at Chikor's Wizard for Hire, did you want to just go in and just make the purchase, just transaction, or do you want to do any role playing around that?
We could role play it.
Okay.
I've given you about 200 gold, by the way, Jofar, to help pay for this as well.
So let me bring up Chikor. So
I may have to go to the bank to make sure I have enough actual cash on me for all this.
So once again, Chikor's Arcanery Wizard for Hire. This small townhouse is designed and decorated in an exotic and outlandish style, uncharacteristic to the rather plain buildings elsewhere in Oakbridge. Eerie green lights and strange hummings filter through its dim windows. A large black plate above the entrance reads Chikor Irchronics Wizard Par Excellence. Also, Sharp, go ahead. Are you trained in history?
I am not.
Okay. Just give me an intelligence check then.
That is a 10.
Okay. All right. So, you go in. You see that the place.
But before I go in, just one thing. I would want to go in disguise. So
Okay.
I need Solana to concoct me basically any disguise. I just want to look different.
Just some random person I saw walking down the street, kind of thing.
Yes.
A little different. Okay.
His brother.
So what we'll do, because I don't want Solana to make too many disguise checks, we'll give you advantage on your deception check. Sure.
Okay. So then I would go in.
Okay. So inside, it looks just as strange and exotic as it is on the outside. You're actually greeted by a young woman who appears to be pregnant, and she says, "Oh, welcome. Is there anything that I can help you with?"
Yes, I've visited some friends who were in here the other day. I'm Menester, the stage magician, and I'm just here to pick up some things that I'm going to need for a show that I'm going to be putting on. And I've heard that I could probably pick up most of what I need here.
Oh, sure. Do you have specific things in mind that you are needing?
Yes, and my friend said you had it all here, so I need 10 smoke sticks and 10 thunderstones, and if you have it, I know it's rare, but a scroll of major image.
The smoke sticks and the thunderstones, yeah, I can get those, but if you want a scroll, you need to actually talk to my husband. Just 1 second. And she goes upstairs, and then that's when you hear a kind of boom and some smoke kind of coming down the stairs, and Chikor comes out, his face completely covered in some kind of coal-like substance, and his hair and his cloak are all also covered with it, and he's kind of walking.
I will clap as he comes down, like a little golf clap. Wonderful showmanship, sir. Wonderful.
So this was not a show, but what can I help you with?
I am a stage magician, and I need to acquire, if you have one at least available, a scroll of major image, along with several smoke sticks and thunderstones for my show.
Sure. My wife is gathering the smoke sticks and thunderstones. The scroll, you are aware of the price?
I was told it was 450 Galifar.
Uh, is that what it was?
Yes.
And you're able to pay that now? You don't need
Yes, I
payment
have
plan
brought.
or anything?
No, I have brought the coin with me. The show
Wow.
is very last minute, and so I am aware that I could haggle, but there's simply no time. I have to prepare much of the act.
Well, it's nice to see somebody who brings in the proper coinage. I will go and get the scroll. My wife will give it to you, as well as the other things that you requested. And then you as he goes up the stairs, you hear him kind of yell, what's this chick's name? Leandra, knock next time, please. And then you hear her kind of saying, sorry, my love. And she comes downstairs holding all the things. She's also covered in black soot now. And
I'll start like carefully stacking like platinum dragons, like in stacks of 5, and then 1 stack of 2 at the end for the 47.
Nice. So she says, okay, so that will be the
Should be 470.
yeah, 470 Galifar.
And I will push as I count each stack of 5 over, and then 2 more is 47.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow, you certainly are one of our first upfront customers. So here's the wares you've requested, and she takes the coin and handing you the scroll and a sack with the thunderstones and the smoke sticks.
Don't drop that stack.
Yeah.
That sack. So I will look at the scroll just to make sure I'm getting the right one.
Do an Arcana check.
17.
Yeah, it's, as far as you can tell, it's a major image.
Thank you very much, and I will leave.
Joe Farr had a request for you to get a couple things. I don't know if you saw it, but you may forget.
Oh, I did not. Where
That's
did you
fine.
see?
That would be appropriate if you're walking out and said, damn. The potion of spider climb and 5 feather tokens.
I mean, if you gave me the money for that, that's fine.
Yeah, I would give you the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more thing.
I would stop in the doorway and say, oh, I just realized something that would be really great for the act. I'm aware you also have a potion of spider climb and several feather tokens in case there's a problem, the spider climb fails. 5 feather tokens should do.
Sure. So she goes to a shelf and pulls out 5 feather tokens. There's a ton in there. And then she opens up a glass case and pulls out a slim test tube-like thing that seems to be covered in spider web. And she hands both to you in exchange for
And I
money.
will start counting out, this time in Galifar, the money that Joe Farr gave me in stacks of 5.
I gave you dragons. I had it.
Okay.
So that works. And then you get all that stuff.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
And I
you're
will
quite
leave.
welcome.
I will pause in the doorway as if I'm thinking about anything more, and then step out.
All right.
Then I will do like a really long walk around back to the Sparkling Alchemist.
All righty. So you guys got that stuff. Now what's next?
Well, we should probably. Well, I got disguised myself in clothing and all that, but we should probably leave and aim to be there around 1 o'clock, like we were this time, because there were people who were there as well as us, and the more people there, the better chance we have of being unhidden.
Did we get the silver mask, the replacement mask?
No, not yet. We need to get that as well.
I assumed that while I was off going to the magic shop, somebody would go find this smith to make the silver mask.
I was busy designing disguises.
Now, Dag is proficient in forgery kits also. You might recall he forged the note from Silhanus' brother. So I'd be working on my work order. Dag would be working on the work order.
Okay.
I guess I would see if I could find Mace Wormglove, who made the silver dagger for me, and see if he can do a mask.
Do you have a picture of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He would know somebody.
You're my favorite Star Wars character.
So you go visit Mace Wormglove, and he says, "Oh, hi, Joe.
Yep, got another request. Need you to make something for me, or if you know somebody to make something, need it made quick."
What do you need?"
Then I show him the picture. This.
Okay. Do you have any dimensions or anything? Any measurements?
It's to scale.
Yeah, it's a Spinal Tap moment. I get the feet and the inches wrong. We get like a 6 foot by 10 foot mask. Or really tiny.
I thought Mount Rushmore would be bigger.
What the hell? Yeah, I would assume that they gave me the dimensions.
Well, no, there's no measurements.
It's drawn to scale. It is perfect.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
It's drawn to scale, just like it is.
Oh.
I like try to put it on my face. See?
Well, I would need to keep that then.
Of course, it's yours.
How fast do you need it?
I'll pick it up tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. Tomorrow. That's what I said. Don't stutter. Only when they say that that other word. That's it.
We should never let Joe go by himself.
Well, if you want it tomorrow, I would need to put aside all my other projects, and I would need to work all day and through the night. That's going to be at least 200 Galifar.
200 Galifar. I look behind him to see if he really does have a bunch of other projects he's doing, or he's full of shit.
Give me an insight check.
Natural 20. Wasted it on that.
A 1 for the night.
He actually does have several projects that are kind of in various shapes of progression. He's not bullshitting you. Additionally, it is incredibly uncommon for somebody to ask for something, especially metalwork, to have such a quick turnaround time. You would know from your just as part of your insight check, I would say that you'd be familiar that most things like that would probably be at least a week, maybe up to 3 weeks.
How about 2 days?
I still need to put aside a lot of other projects to fast track this. I need at least 150 for that.
Okay, no problem. 150. Depending on
Okay.
how good it goes, maybe some more after that. Just keep it on the down low. Don't tell anybody. On the hush hush.
Joe, is this something?
Everything's legit. No questions asked.
Well,
You know me, straight as an arrow.
if it's legit, then I should be able to ask questions.
Just make the mask for me. See you in 2 days. Good luck.
He doesn't ask about your kinks.
All right, Jofar. 2 days.
It's a gift for Dag.
Anything else, Joe?
That's it.
All right. Well, I'll see you back here in a couple days then.
All right. And I turn and leave.
All right. So Jofar gets back to the Sparkling Alchemist. Roughly just after Sharp gets back. You guys, anything else you guys are doing? Or what are you doing next?
On the counterfeit note, work orders.
Okay. What names are you using?
Let's see. Names on the work order. Well, it was just a general work order from the church to the House of Aladdin. It wasn't for a specific person.
Right, but somebody requested the work order. I would imagine.
Sure. And we picked up a name off of the directory on the wall at the church. I think I actually specifically asked about that at one point.
You did. So, which name? You can make one up.
Lance Hardwood.
Really?
I don't know. My wife will just
Really?
laugh. That sounds like a good cleric name, doesn't it?
How did you know my Pornhub name?
I turned a little red. My wife laughed out loud from the kitchen.
Lance Hardwood.
He's reformed. He became a cleric.
Jiminy Cricket. Okay.
You're going to be called that every time you go to sleep tonight.
Jofar can be like Rock Hard Fist. or Sassoon D. Vidalis.
So I'll have you roll your forgery check once the paperwork is requested.
Okay.
Or once you show it to somebody. Anything else you guys are doing?
Hi, we're here to see Lance Hardwood. See him?
I just hope you don't get there and like show the work order to the guard, and the guard's like, "Wait, I'm Lance Hardwood."
I don't remember signing this.
He's the director of Reformation.
Called in sick 3 weeks ago and he hasn't been back. What the? Well, I guess he has. Yeah, just basically getting clothing and things like that together is the main thing for right now.
All right. So, Dag, you finished your work order forgery. Anything else you guys are doing in the interim while you're waiting 2 days?
I am going to be copying down everything which I saw in that museum and writing it down into my little book.
Okay.
I'll spend the next 2 days calling Joe Dad. What do you think, Dad? We gonna be able to pull this off? And I use my human. What do you think, Dad? I'll be a young boy cracking. Yeah. I'm just here to help you out.
Imagine what happens.
Joe, how do you react to all of that? I'm curious to see what Jofar does being called Dad and followed around by Dag all the time like that.
Remembering that his wife left him and took the kid
Yeah.
up north.
Only my ex-wife ever called me Dad. What's going on here?
I just smile.
Aw. Kiss him on the forehead when he goes to sleep and read him a bedtime
Or
story.
maybe I should talk more like Joe. You heard what I mean? He said, let us in so we can do our work. Do it.
So Dag is trying out a couple of different approaches.
Joe Jr. is like, do you guys have a problem with graffiti around here in this museum?
Some rats. Pretty sure you have some rats.
Rats scary.
Graffiti.
Obviously not keeping the house clean enough.
So I would give 5 of these smoke sticks to Silhana, since my plan involves her throwing around smoke sticks. Everyone, Dag and Jofar, can each have 1. That'll leave me with, I guess one of you can have 2, and then I'd have 2. One of you would have 2, and one of you'd have 1.
Well, I mean, if you give me 5, I'll have a total of 9 smoke sticks.
So that should be able to fill a lot of the room. So I will give each of you 2, and I will keep 1, and then I'll give everybody 2 thunderstones in case something goes wrong and you need to knock people over. Also, I have a question, and if I have to waste a thunderstone to try to get a sense of this, I'll do that. But I probably have to go to Precarious or somewhere nobody gives a shit. But would a thunderstone be enough to normally break glass if you hurled it right at the glass?
Yeah, because it's like throwing a rock at the glass.
Okay. Would that set the thunderstone off as it broke the glass?
It probably would,
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
We could add to the dramatic things going on everywhere in the room as well.
Right, because I'm going to keep a bunch of them so that I could just start hurling them at the displays to shatter things. But I'll give everybody 2 of those, and then I'll keep 4.
Pulls up this rat in a cage, then looks, oh wait, he's loose! Major image, and the devil comes out instead. Everything exploding and smoke and glass breaking. Oh yes. This is a fantastic idea. I cannot see it possibly going wrong in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. Anything else you're doing before the end of today?
That's all I'm doing.
I think that's pretty good. What do you think, Dad? I'm pretty sure there should be nothing else we need to do today.
So,
don't you think, Mother?
So both Solana and Sharp, as you guys sleep, you are having very intense nightmares, where it's almost like you are seeing an alternate version of you that is fighting you guys, coming after you, doing really terrible things to the people you care about, and kind of demanding at times you remember in your dream that they're demanding to be let out. These different alternate versions of you are also at times half rat and using their claws to rip into you, which, although it is a dream, you still feel remnants of the pain of the wounds once you wake up. And both of you wake up in a very cold sweat with pools of it soaking whatever it is that you're laying on.
So it's people they cared about. So I'm safe. That's good.
Well, I've had worse dreams. Is there any blood around my body? Are the corpses anywhere?
No.
Clothes torn apart? Blankets a mess?
Sharp, intuitively, you're getting a sense that whatever magic is keeping this at bay is beginning to fade.
I would probably not share that with this crowd just yet.
All right, so now it is the 27th of Zarentar. Anything that you guys are doing?
This guy's get to make me look like someone else.
Might as well conserve this guy's kit until we have the mask.
Yeah.
I mean, if the mask comes back and it doesn't look right, we may either have a decision to go ahead with a really crappy replica or delay even further. Although I wouldn't necessarily recommend that.
Well, we gotta get it right.
Hey, Joe Farr, I've got a little task for you.
Yeah.
Assuming I don't know this already, at least, because I don't know what's player knowledge or not. We need to figure out what's the cycle of upcoming full moons? Because I want to figure out if there's any respite at all, or if our protection breaks, we're just immediately screwed.
If you were to know a druid,
I know a ranger
with
who has survival.
So that's a good point. I can allow that as a chance for success. But if you knew a druid with that druid cantrip that I don't think anybody ever takes, druid craft, you'd be able to automatically know. But Jofar, you can certainly do a survival check.
I know a ranger, he must know druids. That's what rangers do.
22.
No attack on druids not knowing druid craft.
Go talk to all your urban druid friends.
Go talk to a pigeon. It's probably one of them.
Go ask the gnome who stands on that pillar. He probably knows. He's probably got the full moon scheduled down at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So do we know?
So with that, I'd give you the next 2 days. Jofar does some calculations. He kind of looks at the sky, even though there's nothing out except the sun. He does some little thumb measurement things, and then Jofar, you say,
well, then you go ahead and tell me, so I know. It depends.
Oh, yeah.
I have to decide what I'm going to say.
Yeah. So let me tell you.
Do you bite my thumb at thee? That doesn't tell him anything. It's just a picture of your cats.
Oh, it should be good. No problems.
Well, at least we've got that then. I mean, I don't think it'll have worn off by, tonight. I think we're fine, but who knows about tomorrow night? I feel as though I will know when it happens, though. So there'll be some warning.
How much warning?
Enough time for me to kill myself and Solana. I say with Solana, like right next to me.
I don't remember agreeing to this.
As long as I start with myself, you'll be fine.
That is true.
All right. So anything else that you guys are doing today?
Practicing.
Yep.
Hey, Sharp, can I bust out this window? I need to practice.
I'll be breaking the glass in the cases, so we could probably save the window.
Okay.
All right.
So could I, given what I saw in there, could I make an estimate or guess at how thick the glass was in these cases? Like we didn't, there was no test, so I can't necessarily figure out if there's some magic that's going to make it extra hard to break this glass. But is it like half an inch thick, which would make it somewhat hard?
So last time when you were looking at it, you rolled a 10. I'll let you do another intelligence check to try and remember accurately.
That's a 16.
Okay. It's probably less than half an inch, but you wouldn't be able to, you can't really say for certain how much less.
Okay. It still might be like hard as steel because of the magic, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Mike, would it be possible for Silhana to try and, depending on how much time we have, to try and paint some of the faces of the people that she saw in her dreams? The people that she might not know off the top of her head?
Yeah.
Okay. What would I need to do that?
Make a painter's check to see how accurate you are.
Okay. Intelligence, correct?
We'll go with wisdom this time.
Okay.
Because it's more, with a dream, it's more intuitive.
Natural 20 plus 4.
Okay. So you can make perfect replications of the people that you saw in your dream.
Okay. And then the next question, besides the core group of people here, do I know these people specifically? Any famous figures or anything like that?
So all of the people that you saw in your dream were either you or people that are important to you getting slaughtered.
Okay.
So you just kind of, based on the drawings, you figure that your Minotaur mentor was among them, your brother, and
was not
Is
not
he important
among
to
them.
me? Did I see my parents? The people I don't know.
I mean, you wouldn't know if it's your parents, but I mean, there's a couple of faces that you don't recognize.
Okay. Very interesting. That's it for me.
All right.
Your brother
So-
who disappeared one day and we never bothered to even look for him.
He's out whoring.
Another idea, something to practice, is Hey, Father, maybe we should set up the trap, and I can let go a rat out of my hat, and we can see how good it works, just to make sure, it works as we expect it will.
You want to do what?
Oh, I'm sorry. I should practice my voice. Yes, I think we should practice the rat trap. It'd be a good idea to make sure it works as we expect it. Don't you think so, Father?
I don't know if that's your best idea. We probably want to just save it for the actual performance. Don't want to wear it out.
Well, the rat traps are supposed to be reusable. And I would be more comfortable if we knew how to use them.
Sure, let's do it tonight. We'll go find some location, alley, something.
Oh, we'll just do it right here.
No, it's fine. We can go
No
somewhere
time
else.
like the present. Do it right now.
Be good to get out of here, out of this place for a little bit, just to stretch our legs,
As you say, Father. Well, Father knows best. So that's something else we do. To what extent you want us to keep role-playing that?
I mean, role play it as much as you want.
So we go out to an alley somewhere, and we set up the trap at the end of the alley, and so, Father, should I let the rat out here?
Sure.
Fine. Take out my hat. Let the rat go. Go on. Shoo.
It timidly explores the trap before walking in, and then you hear a slam, and that's it.
You did set it for live trap, right?
Can I look now? What happened?
Well, let's take a look.
Sure, tell me. Let me know. Let me know how it goes. I'll be back here, safe.
You look in and you see a rat head having been separated from his body with the cutting instrument down.
I don't think this is the way to set it up. Let's try again tomorrow with this next setting. Maybe this will be.
There are no different settings. It's different traps for humane versus killing.
I think we have the wrong trap.
And Joe Farr was very clear. He wanted the killing traps.
I would like to return this slightly used trap.
We did get a live one, didn't we?
No.
Did what it was supposed to. We're good.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought we got a live one.
Joe is adamant to killing traps.
Fine, Father. We'll need to make this work.
We can do it.
I'm sure they'll still not want to investigate a dead rat.
By the way, after a moment, the rat corpse poofs into smoke.
Oh, my. Do you see that? Where'd it go? I didn't expect that to happen. Maybe that must be part of the magic.
I just take a couple steps back. I start to look around, see if I see anybody.
Give me a perception check.
Perception 18.
Yeah, there's a couple of passerbys that kind of look down the alley, kind of eyeballing you a bit, but they kind of move on, not really interested in what's going on.
Okay, they don't have a big helmet with red eyes and carrying an axe, right? That's not them.
No.
Okay, good.
I'm glad we practiced. We know now how it works.
Yes, let's get a drink.
Fine. I'll have sarsaparilla. I'm too young to have a real stiff drink.
Well, we go find some place.
Let's take the rat trap back first. Don't you think we should
No,
take the
that's fine. We don't need to go back to our place just yet.
You want to carry this rat trap around?
Of course.
I'll let you carry it.
All right.
Fine. Let's find a drink.
Just give him a Shirley Temple. He'll be fine.
All right, so I mean, you guys can easily find a place. Go get a drink.
Yeah, let's serve us outside, right?
Sure.
What time of day is it?
What time did you want to be trying out trap?
I would think it'd be like 7 or 8 at night.
Sounds good. Not too early, not too late, but still before my bedtime.
So just so you know, walking out around, it's just about as nice as it was yesterday. No light mist or anything, mostly cloudy, but pretty nice day.
Good. I'm glad we did this. Good father-son bonding time.
All right.
Good talk.
So as we're going into the next day, unless there's anything else Dag and Jofar want to do. Okay. Solana and Sharp, roll me Constitution saving throws.
It's a good one. Where are my things? 18.
12.
Okay.
You have an action point?
I do. Time to use action point to live. 13.
I mean, so you'll be if you start to change, at least you'll be invulnerable to normal weapons. You got that going for you.
I'm good.
So
do
Sharp,
you feel more dexterous this morning? Slightly more dexterous. You may
there's
not.
this tail. I don't know about it here.
Sharp, you had similar experiences the night before. Solana, I'm sending you a message.
Uh-oh.
You wake up covered in blood.
Not again. None of this would have happened if your wife hadn't have left you so soon. I don't think what you're describing is even legal outside the state of Kentucky. My God. Come on. Mm-hmm.
So I would assume that this is the night before we're supposed to try the heist, right?
You get the mask still.
Right.
Yeah. But I would keep Dag out as late as possible here at the bar, just hanging out. Some good Martha sometime or something. Coworker time.
I like that Dag is super in character and Jofar isn't.
Father, I think we need to get home for some sleep. It's getting late.
No, I'll be fine. Have another drink. Enjoy this night. Nice night. Something good.
You realize 10 p.m. is my bedtime.
Well, you just roll up here, slip on the curb. You'll be fine.
One more, then we have to go home.
You'll be fine. Though I appreciate the working on the accent, you're probably gonna have to. We're probably gonna go with something else when we show up at the temple there. So don't fall in love with it.
Father knows best.
That's right, son. That's right, Dag.
Did you almost call me son? So you almost call me son?
Nope.
I'm gonna call you son of a bitch.
Solana has already killed all the guards. So
Solana just wakes up with the mask on.
Yeah, we get back and he's already got the mask.
oh, okay.
Maybe we can use the heist to return it.
That's what it is. To return the mask.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
How would that work?
Well, it has to be done with flurry, so I'd assume I'd have to go ahead and hit in the right point in the arm to go ahead and disable it fully. Aim for the nerves in it. In order to disrupt the, let me see the exact, disrupt the key of the entire thing going on there. So how would you even, yeah, it can happen, it can happen. Yeah, just, while it's there, just aim for probably around the nerves here. Disable it that way. Without disable a lot of things,
All right,
so I don't know.
give me an attack roll, and then give me a Constitution saving throw.
17 for the attack roll.
Okay.
No, I said roll the dice. And an 8 for the con save.
Okay.
There's only a +1 there. Might have to come up with a new plan. This place is a bit of a mess.
Sure. Give me an insight check.
Is that okay?
Oh, sharp.
Sharp gives you an insight check?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sharp.
You're on mute, bud.
13.
Okay. Sending you a message, Sharp.
Oh, yeah. Well, Joe had a nice character while it lasted. Sorry about that.
So I would go to whichever room she's sleeping in. I assume we're all sleeping in the old inn rooms of this place.
Yeah.
I'd first knock on the door.
There's no response.
So I would this time knock on the door as I sort of just crack it open a bit. Solana. Open the door. It smells like a slaughterhouse. Feces and blood from up to the ceiling.
You look around the walls. We got our neighbors hanging around the entire thing on meat hooks. That's the trick. Our detective agency was the bad guys the whole time.
Okay, I would then rush in and begin shaking her and calling out to the other two for help. Because I assume they came back at some point last night, possibly incorrectly.
What time? What time is it?
Probably 11.
11 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. When the sun came up, I'd wake up Dag, or I'd wake up and we would get up off the whatever curb we were sleeping on and head back, assuming it was safe.
Yeah, those Shirley temples really get to you sometimes.
I mean, first I would try to remove the hand from like around her neck, stash that under a blanket so that it doesn't shock those two when they come in, and try to see if she figure out if she's still alive or not.
So Sharp is what calling for us? Does he sound frantic?
Yes.
Okay. I come in, I barge through the door, run up to the door. I got my silver dagger in my hand.
Solana, are you okay?
That was a hell of a dream.
You weren't responding when I was calling for you. And I look up at Jofar and see the silver dagger. I think we're fine, murderer, but thanks for coming up armed.
What are you talking about, murderer?
Did you bring that silver dagger here in case you needed to stab either me or Silhana?
Why else would I bring it?
That's what I mean. It seems as if she just was sleeping really deeply and I was a little scared. So that's my bad for overreacting.
What's the room look like?
Ignore the bodies. No. I don't know, my room's a pretty standard looking room in whatever they had before we got here. My stuff laid out on my desk.
Okay, so there's nothing. She's just sleeping, sweating a lot or something. Big pile of poop in the corner.
Hey, I dump my night basin out every morning.
These
My
didn't
bedpan
have
is
flush
fine.
toilets. All she has is a bucket, like you.
That's all we got here is a bucket.
Okay. I want to make an investigation roll and see if I see anything.
Okay.
Okay.
18. No, 16, sorry.
There's a pair of pants folded with a shirt folded on top of it. There's a pair of shoes next to it, stockings, of course. There's another unopened set of new clothes sitting next to it, which is for the disguise. My disguise kit sitting on my desk, along with my painter's supplies. I have my backpack in the corner next to the dresser. Bedpan over to the side. The end table sitting there, nothing on it really. And I'm under my covers at the moment, and Sharp's on top of me. And that's about it, I believe. Unless Mike has something else.
I like to imagine I'm off to the side leaning over the bed rather than on top of you.
Yeah. More leaning over
Dirty
than on
old
top.
man.
Oh, it's not the first time.
Well, it's good. I'll go check on the mask, and then we'll get this thing over with.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, I'll walk out of the room.
Well, that was
So
good.
when he leaves, I will then pull the cover back around that one hand that was a claw and see if it's normal again.
It's normal.
So after I wait like a minute for Joe to get out of earshot, I will say, it looked like you were choking yourself with a possibly rat-like claw hand when I came in.
I didn't even have a chance to enjoy it.
So
Yeah.
I was afraid you had done yourself in.
That was kind of strange. I think we need to get this mask thing quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I had bad dreams last night, but nothing as eventful as yours, apparently.
It was a very lucid dream. Didn't you say that we weren't supposed to have a full moon for a while?
Joe said we had 2 days, so I think that means tonight we're good too. Don't know about tomorrow night, though.
Oh, wonderful. Well, let's get this taken care of then.
Well, hopefully Dag's right, and all we have to do is slip on the mask, and we'll be instantly cured.
That would be very nice. I'm going to find a glass of water.
So, Jofar, you go down. It takes you, because it's over and precarious, it takes you a couple hours to get there. But once you get there, you meet him, and he says, "Hey, Joe.
Got my mask?
Yeah, that's ready. You got my money?"
Of course I do. And I hand him 15 dragons. That's 150, right?
So he hands you the mask. I didn't know how thick you needed it, but based on the drawing, I did the best I could to keep it to the size of the drawing.
Appreciate it.
All right, well, see you in the funny papers.
Let's hope not. And I'd recommend keeping some kind of silver weapon around you with you all times. Good luck. Then I walk out.
All right, so now you got the silver mask.
Yep.
When he brings it back, I would definitely look it over and have Sohana look it over. Did you get the drawing she gave you?
I don't
What
know.
do you need that for?
Would I
Yeah,
known
mask.
to have taken the drawing? I mean, is that something we would want?
He didn't offer it.
Okay.
I think that's kind of fine. I
I
know
mean,
exactly
it's,
what the mask looks like still.
Right. I was more thinking that we maybe don't want to have somebody out there who could say, and some guy had me make this mask.
My God, that looks exactly like the one in the silver flame. I wonder.
But it doesn't. I don't think it's gonna be a major problem. Worst case, we can go and try to get it back from him tomorrow.
I would say that I'd ask. I made a wisdom roll. I would say 13. I would know to ask for it. I just, as a player, I didn't think of it.
So how does it look, by the way? Like, from my recollection, does it look reasonably accurate or not?
Reasonably. It's not quite the same, but it's close enough if you look at it quick. And Jofar, he says, well, I had to cut it up.
What do you mean, cut it up?
I mean, I needed to make sure that the measurements were accurate, so I was using it as a guide.
Oh, okay. So destroy it, burn it.
Oh, okay. It's scrap right now, but sure.
Yeah, set it on fire, burn it up. You never saw me. I wasn't here. I didn't buy it. You didn't make it. Keep a silver weapon on you at all times.
Okay.
priceless work of art. I signed my name at the bottom and everything.
They track us down later. I think I know where we messed up. It comes back down to what Dag said. We shouldn't have sent Joe to do this alone. I'm just glad it's silver, to be honest, because you didn't actually specify that to that dude. So you had to glean it from the picture.
Oh, I thought it was specified.
Not in words by Joe, because I was sitting here thinking, I'm not there. I can't say anything.
Of course he knew it was silver. He could tell by my shading and coloration it was silver and not metal.
Right.
I mean, that's not...
Well, you painted it, so you probably painted it silver.
Yeah, I use silver paint.
So
there.
even if it's not actually silver, it might be silverish metal.
Mhm.
Stainless steel.
The line's got a stain right there. I see it.
All right.
So we're ready to go.
Let's do it. Get it done.
I think so. Here we go.
So you two, I guess we all have to get made up again into our disguises.
Yep. So I look like a rat catcher.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we can let you two go like 10 minutes before we walk over.
Okay. All right. Head over to the get set up, and Dag and I head over to the
Take her traps.
take a trap.
So
Let me do all the
Solana-
talking there, Dag, in the beginning.
Sure thing, Father.
Solana, give me a disguise kit check. Intelligence.
Intelligence, sure. Ooh, that is a 20, not natural.
Okay. So, Dag and Joe, you approach the church. What time?
Well, if it was 11 and the incident happened at 11 and 2 hours to get to whatever, that'd be 1, and 2 hours to get back 3. So this is like probably 4 p.m.
Okay. So just before the first mass or the last mass.
Sure. Massacre? Oh, mass. Okay.
All right,
Actually,
so
if I know that, we might want to go after the last mass because we're going in as sort of tourists to see the museum. It wouldn't make sense for us to go in right before mass. It would make more sense for us to go in, like for us to go first, attend the mass. You can come in after the mass and go down.
Okay.
all right. So Sharp and Solana, you guys are attending the 5 o'clock mass. And So- you guys are gonna go after the mass into the museum.
Yes.
Okay. And you guys are both disguised as well, or you're looking at like yourselves?
Oh, I'm
We're
disguised.
Okay.
I'm in my Sunday best.
So you pay the donation, you're let into the museum, and then Dag and Jofar, you enter the church.
Yep, walk straight in like we're on a mission.
Okay.
But we're not missionaries.
So once you're in, you see the priest who is just finished his greetings to the parishioners and everything as everybody's leaving. Do you approach him?
Yeah. Whoever this cat, walk straight up to him. Yeah.
Okay. He says, "Hello. Can I help you?"
Yeah, this is Earl, and this is my son, Earl Jr. Vivalis from next door. Everett sent us. We're rat catchers. I heard you got a rat problem. We're here to take care of it. Now, he come over, but we're all kin, as you know, over there at David Dallas. But he can't make it, so he sent us over.
That's strange. I haven't heard about any rat problem.
Yeah, well, they probably want to keep it on the downy low. Just don't want to reckon they scare anybody.
Who sent you or who requested this?
Earl Jr. got an order or something. My son is trying to help. I'm trying to learn, teach the boy all the tricks of the trade now.
Sure thing, Paul. I have it here somewhere. Oh yeah, here, Mr. Hardwood. Something about rats down by the infirmary and museum area.
He looks it over. Make me your forgery check, Dag.
All right. Is that
using intelligence?
Intelligence. Okay. That's a 16. 15 on the dice. 16.
Okay. Well, it says that Father Lance Hardwood ordered this, but that doesn't look like his signature. Hold on one second. Hey, Father Hardwood, can you come over here? And a priest comes down to meet with you guys. And the priest that is already with you says, Father Hardwood, do we have a pest problem? And then he hands him the sheet. As this has happened, how are you guys reacting?
I take off my hat in the presence of a cleric. Sir, Paul, we just following orders, right? They told us where to go, and we go.
Don't worry, El Junior. We're just here. Take care of the problem. They'll figure it out.
All right, we just wait. We'll just sit here. We'll catch all those rats, though. We tell you real good. I say that real loud. We'll catch all those rats.
Okay.
Them rats don't have a chance around us.
They said down in that infirmary, right, with all those medical people, we would hate for them to get rats.
All right, pause. So this is where we're going to start doing our interesting heist mechanics. You guys, both Jofar and Dag, you guys have action points, right?
Yep.
Okay. You can spend an action point to do a flashback. And you can describe how you would have addressed this issue. You can't change anything that's already happened. Father Lance Hardwood is already examining the document. And you guys have already made the claims that you're from House Fidelis and rat catchers. So what one of you wants to do the flashback?
I have an idea what Dag would do. He took his hat off, right, in respect of the cleric, and...
So wait, so this flashback could happen anytime in the past 24 hours. So it doesn't have to be immediate. It can be, so anytime in the last 24 hours, because how in heist movies things go wrong, but then they flash back to how they addressed it.
This is something we practiced.
So if he looks at if they actually call him over and have them look at it, what are we going to do? So we could say, looky over there, we just see there's a rat right there. Certainly, Mr. Hardwood.
Wait a minute. Okay, so
I'm not role playing it now. We're practicing, right? Right?
Well, no, more along the lines of describe what you want to do. So what do you want to have done in the past 24 hours to have set up for this potentiality to address it so that the plan still works?
Planted a rat such that he would think he would try to deceive him somehow into thinking that there really is a rat infection, it was needed, and maybe he did it and forgot.
Okay, so in the last 24 hours, you would sneak into the church and leave a single rat.
No. We were planning in the planning stages,
as we would go, as we went through, like entering the church, in the eventuality that Lance Hardwood is there and comes over, that would be the trigger for Dag to take off his hat, where the rat would come out and run, and we would point it out. And we had practiced that.
Okay.
Perhaps.
So then you're having the rat sleight of hand come out
Yeah.
and distract Father Hardwood before he looks at the paper.
Yeah, if he comes out, that would be the trigger. He would take off his hat, and we would plan for that. If he didn't, we would go about our business. That was another.
Well, he
another
did.
plan.
It's not a
Right, that's what I'm saying.
matter. So, but you before practice. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Dag, you're the one that spent the action
Yep.
point. Give me a sleight of hand check.
So it's unnatural 20. It's a 10 on the die, but my sleight of hand is plus 10. That's my best
Okay.
stat.
Okay. So it succeeds. So describe how it happens.
So I put my hat down and I kind of bow in front of him, and I said, "Look, there's a rat there!" And as everyone looks over there, a rat actually comes out and down on the floor and starts running. Now, I picture this as after service or soon after service. There's plenty of people around. And I say, "Look, there's a rat." Someone's going to see it and corroborate what I just saw.
Yeah, so it causes some chaos. And then, the priests are like, oh my, there must be a rat problem. Yes, sure. Set up your traps.
And he would notice that I'm not even looking in it. I've like turned away. Well, where'd he go? I guess I missed him. We'll set up the traps.
Thank you, Mr. Hardwood.
Earl
Paul
Jr., let's go. Come on.
We'll get rid of these rats straight away. That way, I said, swear, I saw it go over there.
Okay, so you guys are chasing the rat?
Yep.
Okay. Where?
Toward the infirmary, toward the door, whatever, how the stairs that go down to the museum.
Okay. So do you have the rat that you summoned? Do you have any ability to control it?
Nope, not at all.
So how do you know that it?
I don't. But there's an infestation, and that rat could have gone anywhere.
Let's be honest, it's a
And it's
ballsy fucking rat. Shows itself in broad daylight. That rat could be anywhere, man.
It probably ran for the nearest cover.
Wait,
You see a rat in broad daylight, there's got to be other rats. And where would they hide?
A lone rat.
all right. So the father says, all right. So you're the rat catchers. Where do you need to set up the traps?
Well, we were told they were down. Paul, didn't they say it was down by the infirmary, down the museum area?
Yeah, they like to go, near where the sick and stuff are, gnawing on their wounds.
Okay. So Joe Farr, make me a persuasion check.
But so
Oh,
far, knows this
man.
from experience.
4.
Okay. Now you can use your action point to re-roll that, or you can save your action point in case you need to.
Yeah,
do
we're saving. We just
flashback.
started. I don't want to.
Okay. So the priest looks at you funny and is like, you. Okay, I understand the infirmary. We don't want rats going around down there, but how would they get in the museum? That is locked up tight.
Well, they can get in hidey holes and all sorts of things.
The museum is, as I said, it's very well warded.
But Pa, they said that work order. They said the infirmary and the museum, didn't they?
Yeah. Why are you still standing here?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'll start making for the stairs.
So as you mentioned the work order again, it brings their attention back to it, and the father is about to take another look at it.
I just sent Dag running. He's running.
Okay,
I'm heading downstairs.
So you're heading downstairs. So Joe, you're with this priest who's about to look at this work order and know that
Sure.
it's bullshit.
Okay, sure.
All right. So he looks over the work order with Lance Hardwood and he says, well, I mean, obviously there's clearly a rat problem, but I never requested this. Who are you people?
Earl, Dave Dallas, next door. We're all kin, you know. That's my son, Earl Jr., Dave Dallas.
Where did your son run off to? I want to go and
Taking
speak
care
with,
of the rat problem. We need to take care of this rat problem before it becomes worse than it already is. You don't want to be known as the Church of the Silver Rat. You want to be, it's the Church of the Silver Flame, right?
Yes, but still, I need to speak with, whoever it is that put this together.
Sure, they're right next door. You can go and talk to them right now. I got eyes on these rats. I think I spotted one right there. Nope.
I think we
They're
are going to go
everywhere.
and see Hospitalis. Lance, you wait here with him. I'm going to go. And then the priest walks out carrying the work order. And Lance is kind of looking at you suspiciously.
Okay.
So Dag, you went downstairs.
My two traps.
Okay.
And I'll set one. I know the infirmary is off the left, down one hallway, and I'll just set it right there. Kind of so it's there, and then and I'll go up to the person by the museum door. And
There's no person.
So I go into the museum.
It's locked.
So how do other people get into the museum?
They request the priest to let them in with the special key.
Okay.
I mean, Sharp and Solana, I believe you guys are currently in there. You're muted, Kurt.
I'll start knocking on the door.
Wait, I'm going to spend my action point to go back in time where I say, okay, so after everything has gone to hell upstairs trying to get in to secure this rat problem, Solana is going to start screaming, incredibly agitated that she just saw a rat in the museum. And when that happens, I am going to use the distraction to open the door a bit from the inside so that Dad can come through while the guards are looking at her and trying to see this rat that she's pretending to point at.
Okay. So you used your action point for the flashback, but it sounds like Solana is the one doing the work. So Solana, give me a deception check.
Where are the guards?
There's one on either end of the museum. One next to the door and one on the opposite end.
I'm going to go to the one on the opposite end of the door that we want to open. I'm going to go, oh my God, a rat! Oh God, look over there, it's over there! And I'm going to go ahead and just move right towards the guard and try and jump towards his arms or something so he can catch me and keep me away from the rat.
Okay. Give me a deception check.
That is a -1, but that's 18 total. Even with a -1, I'm happy about that.
So the guards seem distracted by it. The one near the door comes over asking, are you all right? Giving Sharp the opportunity to open the door. to allow Dag in.
It was right over there. I don't know.
So now, Dag, you're in. What are you doing?
The first thing I do is I move to the corner and I set down my trap. All right, so it's there, and I pull out my hoopack. So where'd it go? Where'd it go? And I start running toward around the room looking for that rat, and this is when we start things go crazy, isn't it? According to our plan.
Yeah, one of the guards notices you and says, "Wait, who are you? Who let you in?"
I'm Earl Jr., a rat catcher. Me and Paul came here to take care of your rats, and I just heard her scream for a rat. So I came.
Over there somewhere. Go get it already.
Where'd it go? I'll get that damn rat. I'll get it.
Right.
I'll get it.
Dag, give me a deception check.
All right, deception. Where am I at? Deception.
Whether he's successful or not, I'm also going to use this new distraction of them screaming at each other to try to cast the major image of like a rat-faced horned devil, humanoid devil, wreathed in flame that appears in the center of the room. Or actually, no, that appears sort of, I have this image in my head of where the case is, but I'm not 100% actually sure where you think it is. But, who appears like, 10 feet away from that case.
13.
Okay.
Maybe my accent slipped.
Damn it.
So they kind of look at you, but the one guard is really attentive to Solana, especially because you basically jumped in his arms. But the other one is suspicious and actually goes to look at you, Sharp, and sees you pull out the scroll. So, does anybody want to call a flashback? And how to deal with the guard that sees the scroll?
Who still has action points?
Nobody.
I do.
Joe Far.
Actually. So I don't know, Mike, but I had that extra action point you gave me.
Yeah, you got a bonus one. You can use a bonus action point. So actually, if you have bonus action point,
we have 2 now because we're at 5th level.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's right.
So Dag, you can use your action point to re-roll your deception check, or you can do just a flashback.
I think I'd rather do a flashback. And for my flashback, I think I want to have a rat in the cage. So I can conjure one from my hat, 1 per day. But from the cage, I could have one in there that I'm bringing in with me. And then when I get in there, if something goes awry and I need another rat, I can open the cage and actually it would, in the distraction, it would actually be there. It would actually, so the guards would see the rat and it would be more convincing.
Okay, give me a sleight of hand check.
I like to imagine that as he's watching me with the scroll, you like drop this essentially on his boot.
26.
Okay, so you're able to describe what happens. It's successful.
Yeah, so as I set that down, and I run around, but eventually that rat does actually come out and is around, and so I imagine that just as I say, look, the rat, it's over by the cage. We almost got it, and that's where
it's over there.
And that's about where Sharp is anyway. So I'm hoping the guard would look and he would actually see the rat.
He will, and he'll see it, and it will take his attention right away from Sharp just before Sharp pulls out the scroll.
As the rat goes over there and I'm yelling about it, I'm going to just wrap my legs around the guard in my arms and just hold on to him, yelling, "It's over there! It's over there!"
Okay. Yeah. Excuse me, man. I'm trying to take care of it.
Get it! Get it!
Please help me. I'm terrified of
Paul,
that.
it's down here! Paul!
All right. So now, Sharp, go ahead and make your check to pull off the magic.
What is that check?
It is... Okay, so if the spell is on your class is spell list, but a higher level than you can cast, you need to do it, yada yada.
It's of a level that I can normally cast. It's just I can't cast
Whether
any
you
spells
cast
right
it.
now.
Wait a minute. Oh, I thought I made it so that anybody could cast a spell. Yeah, anybody could cast a spell. I think it's. Wait a minute. Okay, so it's just a pure ability check with your spell casting ability, and the DC is 10 plus the spell's level. So major image, that's 3rd level, right?
Yes. So yeah, I got a 21.
Okay. So it goes off without a hitch. So describe what happens.
So up from the ground, there is like a pool of flame appears to form, almost like lava. That's clearly sort of rimmed with like a blue magic, and up from it crawls up this humanoid with a otherwise like normal human body, although very muscular, carrying a trident with a rat-like face and devil horns that spiral out, that bellows as it rises up to its full height and lifts the trident in the air, roaring at the guards and anybody else who happens to be in the museum.
So both guards take notice immediately. The guard that Silhana is wrapped around screams the highest pitched scream you have ever heard. And they both immediately run for the door.
Oh. I fall to the ground the minute he starts moving. No!
So now what are you guys doing?
I am pretending to I'm not running for the door, but I'm pretending to like cower a bit as I evaluate what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I slip a smoke stick behind my back and pop it. I begin the anarchy here.
The room fills up with smoke. It's the rat demon lord! Ah, yeah! And pull out my hoop, and I start swinging it wildly, running around the room. Get it! Get it! And then I make a swing on one of the cases. Not the case of target, right? It's a different case, a different glass pane. Ah, where'd it go? As the room fills with smoke, and I just start swinging. Maybe I do another glass pane. I don't know if you need me to do anything here, Mike. But then eventually I come to the. So
the minute that you start smashing,
yeah.
Each of you hear two things: a click and a rumble. But Silhana, your smoke stick is obscuring your vision. You don't know what is actually happening. So each of you can make me a perception check, at least each of you who are in the room, to kind of get a sense of where the sounds were coming from.
I have no idea. 2.
17 for Dag.
21 for just sounds.
Okay. So Dag, you heard the click. It's coming from the area where the door was. Solana, you heard the rumble. That's up on the ceiling.
The boulder!
Are the guards still in the room?
No, they bolted.
So as soon as I hear that click and rumble, thinking that's no good, I feel like I need to get my mission done. So if I haven't broken the glass yet, I break it then, and I proceed to swapping out the masks.
Okay. So you swap out the masks, and then Now, for this, does anybody want to use a flashback regarding any of the things that you've heard? You don't know what they are, but...
Right. So I do. I will use my second action point to do a flashback where I brought with me a little wooden wedge. And when the guards run out of the room, I stick it in the door so the door doesn't close all the way.
Okay. Excellent.
Because locking us in was always a possibility.
All right, so that is a pretty good guess on your part. So there is what looks to be some locking mechanisms that shoot in from the sides of the door frame, but because the door is not aligned with them, they're not really effective, and the door stays open. And it probably actually ensures that the door can't be even shut. There's still that rumble though. So there's all the smoke that Solana filled the room with. Dag, you still had, because of where you were still able to see where the case is with the mask. So you were able to swap that out. And then, is there anything else you're doing?
For Dag?
Any of you?
Now I hold the door open and start screaming, "A rat monster! Everybody run!"
As you run to the door, you run into something like you run into like a brick wall. So actually, so you take 2 bludgeoning damage as you run face first into what feels like a brick wall. And then that's where you hear a sound like stone grinding on stone. And something through the fog that Solana has created, something gets close enough to you that it actually, you can see it through the fog. And it looks to be like some kind of stone monster or stone figure.
Rat demon! Rat demon lord! Get the rat demon lord!
Where is the stone monster?
Right in front of you.
Like through the doorway, or in the room with us, or
in the room with you? As you were trying to run to the door, you ran into it instead.
So I would scream, "Another devil!" And I would try to back up.
Guys, so give me perception checks for those of you in the room with disadvantage because of the fog.
Of course with disadvantage. My natural 20 down to a 6. My only good perception roll ever.
That's a 17 with disadvantage.
Here's my 23. Let's see what it becomes. A 5.
Lovely.
6. At least I beat Dag.
Oh, no, it doesn't. It was a natural 1. I get to re-roll.
Oh, okay.
Well, goodbye consolation prize.
So it's now a 10.
Okay.
Okay, very interesting. Let me take a quick look here.
Is there smoke billowing out into the main area that we can see?
Yeah, a smoke stick only has a 20-foot radius.
Okay.
So it would fill the room, but it wouldn't I mean, it would start to come out of the room, but not very quickly.
How high up is that?
About 15 feet,
15?
10, 15 feet. I can't remember what I said initially.
Come to the center of the room quickly. It's our only hope. And I grab my rope and let me see if I can do this. Actually, yes, I can. And I throw my grappling hook and rope out of the ceiling where that is.
So you do that, and your grappling hook does seem to grab purchase.
Okay.
Now, Sharp, this thing that you can see now through the smoke, a massive stone hand grabs you by the shoulder, or at least it's going to attempt to. So it is making a grapple check.
Okay. I got a 22.
Okay. So it grabs you, but it kind of grabs your coat or shirt or whatever, and so you're able to squiggle out of that.
Technically, it was athletics. So.
Okay, so you're able to rip that your coat where it grabbed you, and then everybody hears a roar that's more like stone grinding on stone, and then through the fog, each of you sees like this massive figure with. Even though there's smoke, you see enough detail. It is a humanoid figure. It does appear to be made out of stone. And Silhana, you notice that its back seems to be covered in the bricks that make out the shape in the ceiling.
Ah. And where is this in relationship to us?
In the middle, well, not in the middle of the room, but probably very close in the center of not the center of the room, but the center line of the room in front of the door.
Near where I threw my grappling hook, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Someone want to spend an action point to act on Jofar's suggestion? We replace their guardians with Nerf versions of their guardians.
Nerf guardians. I don't believe that would actually work, unfortunately. We replaced the bricks with rubber molding beforehand. Of course we did. I mean, it's not... Yeah, Mike, I'd like to say I removed the bricks the night before and I replaced it with me just painting over. It's a paper demon now. I think that would be a bit too much.
It's not, the ceiling's not exposed to outside, though, is it?
No.
Yeah.
But Solana's
I've heard
still found purchase, but
right.
Yeah.
I've heard her say get to the center of the room, but I have no idea even what she's throwing a grappling hook at. So if I have a moment, I guess I would make my way to the center of the room. The stone creature may get an attack on me when I move, but
yeah, it's gonna.
I mean, I would disengage if I get a full action. I would disengage and move to the center of the room.
Yeah, you can do that. Actually, you can't. It's got Sentinel.
Wow.
Because it is a Sentinel, but it misses. All right, so now what are you guys doing? And if you guys don't think of something very soon, it's just going to become a combat, and we're going to roll initiative.
I mean, I honestly don't even know what's going on. There's a stone guy. There's a second stone guy in the center line of the room.
There's two stone guys?
No, just the one.
Oh, I
One
thought there were
stone guy.
two. One of them has a back that's made of bricks, and there's like a rope now dangling from the ceiling. So I would go up to Solana and be like, do we climb up? Like looking up, what's there? Is there like a hole in the middle of the ceiling?
It in the shape of the monster's back, yes, there is a hole, but you can't really see what's in the hole because of the smoke. Can't hear you, Solana.
It's not down here, which is an advantage already. I mean, if we stay down here, we're trapped. If we stay here,
Are
we're
we
kind
not
of
trapped? There's nothing. What's up? It's just a ceiling, right? We looked up. It wasn't to the outside.
It might
It
go into
doesn't seem
another
to
room
be
of
front to the
church.
outside, but it's dark. You can't see where it leads.
There's smoke. Is smoke getting sucked out of there?
No.
Yeah.
The smoke is, there's no breeze or anything, so the smoke is pretty stagnant.
All right. Okay, guys. I take out the 2 thunderstones I had. I crawl up the wall. I jump to the back of this golem thing. I slap it on either side of its head.
Okay. Give me an acrobatics check and then an attack roll.
Sure. $18 for the acrobatics. Attack roll. What kind of modifier would I get on my attack roll?
It would be strength.
Strength, yeah. 11.
Okay. So,
I'll use my last action point and then re-roll that attack roll.
okay.
Whopping 13.
Okay.
Certainly a 13 would work.
So, you successfully hit either side of its head with the thunderstones. And to everyone's surprise, it's actually a bit more effective than you would have expected, causing its head to shatter. And so now, without its head, it is flailing arms in all directions. So Dag, and it's going through this entire thing, breaking everything in its area. So everybody give me dexterity saves.
23.
9.
19.
So Dag, you take 23 damage. Everybody else takes 11.
Oh, that hurt.
Watch out for the arms.
Now without its head, you guys could get by it without drawing attacks of opportunity, but you need, if you're going to get by it, you need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
To try and avoid its flailing.
Yeah. So I imagine when I took that 23 points, it like was flailing around and it threw me against the wall.
Also, actually, Dag, because the thunderstones were in your hands when you exploded them, give me a Constitution saving throw.
All right. 14.
Okay. So you still have both of your hands, and you don't realize it until moments later, but your hands are both shattered. Most of the bones in your hands are shattered.
Earl Jr.
Don't worry, everyone. We prepared for this.
I picked myself up. My hands.
God damn it.
I'll make my way. I can't even roll my dice.
Oh, no.
So yeah, I'm gonna run for the door and
Yeah.
try to pick up Earl Jr. as I run past him.
Okay.
So dexterity save.
Yeah.
Dexterity save is 21.
Okay.
Was that good for
Picking
both
up-
of us, or do I need to roll also?
Picking up Earl Jr. I assume is athletics.
Yes.
That's above 20. It's 20. No, it's 20. Non-natural 20 even.
I mean, he's so small that you're able to get him. He can use your check, which succeeds. So you guys you both take half damage, which is 13.
Mm-hmm. And in shock, Dad goes limp in your arms as I fall below. I don't know. Am I unconscious? I'm sorry. I don't know your rolls.
No,
well.
when you're in vitality points, you take a level of exhaustion, and you have more limited attack options.
So I took 13, so I'm at -8.
No.
You're
So
just at 0.
Yeah,
I'm at 0.
Any bleed over doesn't go into vitality points from the single attack.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're still conscious, but you probably shook. So Solana, what is your move?
And your attack options are especially limited with your shattered hands.
I'd like to nub the enemy a bit.
You can always bite them.
So I'm really confused now. Is the door itself open still, and they can get through?
The door is. You just need to get past this flailing stone creature.
I thought the entire room was just sealed in by bricks.
That's what I thought too.
That's why I thought. Yeah, that's why I did the whole grappling hook thing.
I didn't realize that I ran into a creature when I ran for the door. I thought I ran into just like some wall of force, and there was a creature.
Yeah.
No, it's a stone golem that came from the ceiling. With its back. So its back is in the shape of the hole that it left in the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's almost got like a turtle shell of brick, except instead of being rounded, it's just flat.
Okay. In that case, grab my rope, yank it back up with a quick whip of it to get it back, and start running for the exit.
We can buy you a new rope and grappling hook when this is over.
True,
So
but
if it doesn't come
leave it here-
down,
Rope,
just
you
leave it.
fucking rope. Boondock Saints.
True, but if we leave it here, they'll know that someone threw a rope and a grappling hook, and I don't think they'd believe it's a devil.
And why would we have one? Yeah.
I mean, they let a rat catcher in with his hoop pack.
Oh, true.
Yeah, but I'm a rat catcher.
Sharp, you need to see if you maintain concentration. So you have DC 10, DC 3 DC 10.
Rolled 18 3 times. So that was...
Okay, so you maintain concentration. Okay. So Solana, you're trying to get past this thing.
Yep.
Make dexterity save.
Just kill me already. I don't care. That is a 19.
You may be immune to non-magical bludgeoning damage. If
Yeah,
you're
all I
aware
know.
of that again.
Come at me, bro. That's
So
a 19.
you manage to only take 7 bludgeoning as you get by it.
Lovely. And I run out with everyone else.
All right. So Jofar, out of the corner of your eye, you see everybody running. You see Sharp.
Well, I
carrying
would
Dag.
before I get upstairs, like when I get out, I would. Is the door to the infirmary open?
It wasn't. Or no, it was, because Dag, you came in through the infirmary, right? The infirmary hallway? Or you just ran downstairs and put
I went to the
trap.
hallway to the infirmary, and I set the one rat trap right there.
Okay, so you didn't actually open that door, so that door is not open.
So I would open the door and announce, "We've got to get everybody out of here. There are monsters in the museum."
Rat demon, Lord! Oh, broken hands! Ah!
So I would look for somebody who doesn't look like they'd be terribly mobile, and I would double up, like halfling on one shoulder, this person on the other, and try to start slowly plotting out carrying the wounded with me.
So make a deception check at advantage, and then also make another athletics check.
Now that advantage actually really did help. Where's my deception? That's a 21 on the deception check.
Okay.
And 23 on the athletics check.
All right, so you're able to grab the person pretty easily, and everybody else is freaking out. You see people start to make their way out towards the door. And Jofar, out of the corner of your eye, you see Sharp carrying Dag and some unknown person and Solana.
And as I come up the stairs, I assume the guards ran directly out too, probably in a state. So I'm running up the stairs yelling, "Monsters in the basement!"
So actually, Jofar, you would have seen the guards running and calling out, "Demons! Demons!"
They're just saying demons, right?
Yeah.
They're not describing what they're seeing.
No.
Okay. And when I see, I'm standing there with Woody, right?
Right. And after he sees the guards, he starts heading down and like, what?
Is he headed that way?
Flame? He was, yes.
Okay, so I'm walking behind him to find out what's going on. As he gets far enough away from me, I pull out that vial of spider climb and I take it.
Okay. What are you planning to do with the spider climb?
I don't know. Shit may go sideways.
Okay, fair enough. So then, as the priest is beginning to look down the stairs, that's when Sharp and all of them start running up, and then also there's smoke behind them, and some of the patients from the infirmary are coming up as well.
Okay, so I see Dag coming up. Does he look fucked up?
Rat demon! Rat demon!
Okay, he says that.
So he would be saying that, but you would also notice that his hands have swollen to 5 times their normal size and are purple.
So yeah, I see his hands, and as soon as he says the word rat demon, where's this priest? Is he in front of me?
Yeah.
So I grab him by the shoulder. I said, "What have you done to my son Solomon, you worthless fuck?" And I start to choke him.
Oh. Paul!
Okay, make me a grapple check.
Oh, 2.
What?
What?
2.
2.
Okay.
Well, that beats him.
So
plus whatever it would be.
He is surprised, but he steps back and he's like, "What are you saying? What? We don't you see this? We need to leave." And then he actually shoves past you and runs out with everybody else.
That's what he thinks he's gonna fucking do. I go into a rage. I put on my dread helmet and pull out my fucking axe, and I go after him.
Oh God, this is Morar, isn't it?
My plan did specify we all come unarmed.
I will use my action point to go back as I pack my dread helmet and axe.
How would you have hidden? Wait, I'm curious. How would you have hidden your large size axe?
In a huge backpack.
Have you seen his asshole?
In a huge oversized backpack.
Okay, so you're basically using your action point to flash back to get a giant backpack for
I
your
have a big
axe.
backpack. Yep. Put fucking Fidelis patch on there.
Ghostbusters symbol on it.
Okay.
I like, as part of his flashback, I like to think that I like reminded him again, you are not taking the giant axe. And then he's like loading up the giant axe, zipping up his backpack. Because we're already inside the museum by the time he appears at the church with his giant ass backpack. So like, I couldn't stop him then anyway.
All right, so here's what happens. So Sharp, Dag, Solana, you have managed to get out with a growing crowd and smoke coming up from within the church. You're all kind of catching your breath as you're kind of all looking around, and you hear all of the other bystanders talking about what must have happened, and hearing them passing on rumors of demons and rat demons, and then also passerbys that are gathering outside. And then through the smoke that is now filling the door to the cathedral, Father Lance Hardwood emerges from the smoke. And just as he does, there is a set of red eyes appearing within the smoke behind him. And a massive axe flies through the air, chopping into his back, slicing it through the front of his shoulder, and causing explosion of blood to splatter onto the crowd as he falls down, as Jofar Murar comes up from the smoke, grabbing the axe, pulling it from this dude's clearly dead corpse, and continuing to slash and hack at him.
Run up. Paul, stop! Stop! What are you doing?
Wait, Dag, do you really want to run up? Or do you want to use this as a distraction to get away and not be around the murderous psychopath?
I start to get that way, and I hope that maybe Solanas grabs me and says, "No, let's get out of here."
Yeah, I would have grabbed you and said, like, no, you're no position to face Morar.
It should just be two of us
back.
grabbing you by the arm and
Yeah,
pulling you away.
go back to the office. Run.
Okay.
And I'm going to start running my ass towards the office. I'll let Sharp go ahead and carry Dag if he wants to, but I'm going to go as fast as I can.
I'm going to let Dag run. I'm going after Morar.
What?
We're fighting Morar? Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's do this shit then.
Hold on 1 second.
The only way to save Jofar is to save Morar.
Yep.
So,
The power of Christ compels you. Be gone, demon. Oh, I hate when Joe gets possessed.
And don't suppose we have a healing potion back at the shop?
if we do, we haven't found it yet. Search hard.
Are those even available for sale? I didn't see any.
I mean, they weren't at the magic shop, but they might be somewhere.
So, as it turns out, for my action point, I just happened to find 27 healing potions in the hidden cubby in our shop. Who knew? I mean, just in case this were to happen. Oh, wait, what? Oh, shoot.
Can't believe it might actually come down to PvP again between me and Jafar. Don't worry, Jofar. If they cast Zone of Truth, we're just going to go with you were possessed by some crazy spirit, and that will be the truth.
All right, so as Sharp launches towards Jofar suddenly,
still yelling for all these wounded people who probably flopped onto the grass to run.
yeah. That's where the screen goes out. The story ends for now. We'll figure out how this wraps up next session.
Is our next session in 2 weeks?
Yes.
So now
and so I'm not sure exactly what's happening here with Jofar and Sharp. So I would like in the intervening 2 weeks, Peter and Kurt, you guys to kind of email and include me in the emails as to how this is going to work out, because I've learned TPP is not good unless everybody knows what's happening and is on board. So that's where we're gonna end tonight.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
I
I will send out an email even in a few minutes to give you a sense of what I don't know really what's going on with Jofar. You have mentioned Morar. I'm not convinced it's not just Jofar going crazy. I recognize it might be Morar. Either way, I think the evil spirit thing will probably fool a zone of truth. Just depends on how you define spirit.
honestly, Silhana probably thinks the mask is what's doing it to him at this point. No, the mask is evil.
That actually would be funny if the dread helm turns out to be like a special cursed dread helm.
Oh, that's what's going to happen. She is going to knock the fuck out of Jofar, take that helmet, and just smash it on the ground until it's destroyed.
if you can.
Or it's the axe.
It's one of the two. They're both dying. We must save Joe from himself.
So, what did people think about the heist?
I had fun with it.
The heist itself
once we got into like the flashback part, it was especially fun.
I agree. Totally agree.
I think I was confused most about the bricks that suddenly appeared in front of Joe. I thought that we were just surrounded by bricks suddenly.
Oh.
Yeah, I had imagined, this is partly me sort of imagining what was going on when you said that there was like a grinding sound. It didn't occur to me stone golem from the ceiling. I thought like stone walls dropping to block us in.
Yeah.
But then you allowed me to keep the door unlocked, but I had also ran into something that was stone. So I was like, all right, apparently the door opens, but there's stone beyond it. And I ran face first into it. But I actually ran into a stone golem. So I didn't understand. I was picturing something different in my head, and it was leading me to misinterpret what you were saying.
That's exactly what I was picturing as well when I heard that. I'm like, oh shit, are we surrounded by a wall? That's why I thought we had to go up.
It turns out it was actually way worse than I was imagining.
Your flashback mechanic's really a stroke of genius, and I'm probably going to steal that at some point and give people. Yeah, it's really clever. I like it a lot.
I wish I could take credit for it, but it's actually as I was doing research for how to pull off this heist, it was a DM's Guild called Here's the Crime, a Guide to Capers and Heists, which kind of, I didn't really adapt the rules because you guys wanted to go much more into detail and depth about the planning aspect and stuff, which this supplement tries to get away from. But the flashback thing was definitely where I was like, okay, this is how we're going to do it.
But it fit well with the action point mechanic.
It really did.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot of Stars Without Numbers, how if you go with the precognition for the psychic, there's one ability you can use which lets you, once per day as part of your ability, you can suddenly have an item which you didn't have before, which it just so happened you knew you would need with you there. And that's exactly what popped into my mind when you said that.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm just sad that we're not going to know the actual ending yet.
Yeah.
Well, we have to save Jofar from his helmet.
Right. That is the plan.
Hopefully that's the plan. Hopefully that's
there were certain things that had to happen, and they happened. So
I really liked, Dag, how you took the thunderstones and smashed things head.
Yeah, that was
But-
That was
awesome.
good.
So that was really cool. But I also was thinking, well, wait a minute. If you're holding these
Yeah.
things
Mhm.
in your hand
Yeah,
and it's
Mhm.
powerful enough to smash a stone golem's head,
Mhm.
in
That's gonna hurt.
pieces, what's gonna happen to your hands?
Yeah.
So
Sure. Totally agree.
the constitution check was to see whether you had broken hands or lost one or both of your hands, just blown off.
at least you
Not
survived. when you did
ideal
that.
for a thief.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll fix them. We have duct tape. At least you survived when you did that. When I tried that in another game, it didn't go so well.
So yeah, that was really cool, a lot of fun, things that you guys were thinking about doing and how you pulled them off. It felt really, really chaotic for a heist, but it worked.
I hope it's easier when we return it.
Yeah, it will be because we're just going to come by at like 3 a.m. and chuck it at the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
All right.
Where are you going on your vacation, Dave?
Pigeon Forge. We're going down
Oh, in
Tennessee.
That is not that far away from me, actually.